What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? God damn it. What do you want?
I have to go.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now? I think now you can hear me. I think now it's working. So yeah, it's just because I had like a couple of things. I think now audio is working. Yeah, it is working. Right. Cool. So sorry about that. Like I said, it's been I think months and months since I've done a stream. So it took me a while to update everything. You know, I had to like update every single thing. I had to update OBS. I had to update drivers. I had to update GPUs. I had to, Jesus Christ, I had to restart the computer. Look at that. I had to restart a Mac OS machine. I couldn't believe it my own eyes. But thank you so much for all being here. I can see that there's already 70 people online. Everyone is saying hello on the chat. I just wanted to, of course, start with the conversation for everyone. I hope everyone is safe at the moment, and I hope everyone is at home. And I... a little more to the left, a little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the left. I just wanted everyone to know that thank you so much for staying with me. You know, it's been a difficult few months, as you all know. It's been very difficult for me. I had a lot of family problems. I had a lot of issues on my side, and that's why I had to cancel my streams, and I do apologize for that. I know you all were so used to talking to me every week. We had 2 streams a week. We did 45 streams. I can't believe it. We did it for 6 months, and then suddenly it just stopped. I am so sorry for that. It's just I had a lot of exhaustion in November, and I had a lot of family problems during Christmas and New Year's Eve as well. My dog also was very sick, and my problems are all not solved yet, but at least now, you know, things that are now happening put everything into perspective, I think. So I am back on the stream. I wasn't really ready to come back to the stream because I wanted to have a bit more free time to finish the online course and to finish all the YouTube videos that I owe everyone, you know, because when I did the pause, I had to stop everything, you know, because of my family issues. I kind of stopped doing videos on YouTube. I kind of stopped doing the classes and everything. So I wanted to spend some months recovering and going back to that. But now, because of the coronavirus and because we are really need to be together, you know, I think now is the time that we all need to be together. And that's why I came back to Twitch, because I thought that everyone is home. Everyone is freaking out with all of this. I just wanted to give back to the community a little bit and see if we could all be together for a couple of hours at least, so we can forget a little bit about this. And it goes without saying that I would like to leave all my good wishes to anyone affected by this problem. You know, if you either have someone sick, I am so sorry to hear that. If you lost one of your loved ones, I am truly, truly sorry that you had to pass through that right now. And if you lost your job also, you know, hang in there, because most of the governments are trying to support everyone, just like the UK government is. So I want everyone to just, you know, we just need to be a bit calm, and we need to like come together really at this really difficult time. And so that's why I came to the stream today, to talk to you, to see how you are all doing. And we're gonna start. We're going to start, of course, doing it every week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have a lot of people to thank. Like, I have tons of people that are donating right now and supporting and subscribing and resubscribing. And thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Anyway, today we're going to have a bit of a special stream, because I didn't really have any plans. Like I said, I wasn't really planning to come back to streaming. So I didn't really plan this, but we're going to start off with some questions. We're going to also open the floor to if anyone has a question, if anyone has like a question, or if anyone has a showreel they would like to share, or a portfolio to share, I am happy to give you some feedback. I'm happy to give you some feedback and pointers on the showreel. Also some pointers maybe on the review, like on the portfolio, website, CV, anything at all. Please let me know if the sound is okay, if it's a good value. I would like to also as always, we have our amazing moderator Linny. She's moderating the show today. So if you have any questions or any show reels you would like to share, please put them on the chat, and Linny will be very kind to send it to me privately so that I can actually check them opened up on the screen. One thing I would like to say to everyone, you probably noticed that all my notifications now with Gandalf and the notifications with all the notifications I used to have with sound, I had to remove all the sounds. Because every single time we had the jazz music with Gandalf, I would be copyrighted striked on Twitch and on YouTube. So I removed the song because I am so fed up of getting copyright striked. So I just took it out, so I am sorry about that. But yeah, don't worry. Linny is looking into the chat now and see if she can find some of the show reels. Don't worry, we'll get to everyone. We have 77 people logged in right now. I can't believe it's been a long time since I've been online. So I wanted to start by. Look at that! There's a hype train coming. Oh my God, you guys are just spoiling me now. Oh my God, there's so many. There is so much stuff here. I can't even believe it. I don't even know how to start. There's so much show reels. Anyway, we'll get to there. So I wanted to start by thanking all the people that are now subscribing. So I would like to thank, of course, Kaiser7 for resubscribing. He has been a subscriber for 9 months. Thank you so much, Kaiser7. Also, I would like to thank a new follower. I can't say the name. The new follower is 05112546877754, and it keeps going. I hope that's not your password. So thank you so much for that follow. Also, I would love to thank Slice Dave for the subscription on Prime. Thank you so much for that. Don't forget that if anyone here has Amazon Prime, you can actually subscribe to my channel. Also, I would love to, really want to give a thank from the bottom of my heart to Volroom92 that donated $3. Thank you so much for donating the $3. You didn't have to do that, you know, it's very kind of you. Thank you so much for doing that. I also have A Mark B, the subscribed for 9 months now. Thank you so much, A Mark. You've been subscribed for 9 months now. I also have CG Rockstar that has been resubscribed for 10 months now in a row. Thank you so much, 11 in total. CG Rockstar, don't forget, CG Rockstar actually has a Twitch channel. He's actually doing a lot of training in 3D Studio Max, so you should check his site out. And CG Rockstar Sajels, you can put the link on the chat. Be my guest. You can definitely do that. As you can see, we have a hype train here. I don't know why. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what a hype train is. This is new to me. We just reached the hype train, but I have no idea what that is. Like I said, I haven't been on Twitch for months now, so I don't know what that is. Like, maybe someone can explain to me what a hype train is. Level 1 completed, whatever that means. I don't really know what that means. Anyway, sorry about that. I also would like to thank Becca Drive for the follow. I would like to thank Nelson Cotto. Nelsino Cotto. Yeah. So Nelson, thank you so much. You're also in my Patreon, so thank you so much for that. You've hosted my video. Thank you so much for that. Anderson 3D is also subscribed on Prime. Thank you so much for that. Also, Wang Qian following as well. Mirko Torno follows. Brian Fisher is subscribed on YouTube. Slippy Pizza 1234 is followed. Arshel Bujambal is followed as well. Yeah, thank you so much for all these follows. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but you guys are going so quick now here, so thank you so much for that. So I have a ton of show reels here to review. I also wanted to let you know that it's not just about the show reels today, so we're going to be here for a couple of hours. You know, my plan is to be here until maybe 8 o'clock evening, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 hours, maybe 4. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, my idea would be to comp as well something if we get to it. This is the shot that I wanted to do online, so because I've never really done a full CG integration shot online on Twitch, so I'm gonna give it a go, you know. I know I don't have 2 webcams, so sorry about that. I know it's a bit different right now. I only have one. The other one died on me, so that's why I had to go back to the just having one webcam. So sorry that the microphone is in front of you, but hopefully you can still hear me. So this is the shot we are going to do. Like this is a plate I shot for a short film a long time ago. This was 2016. This is a 4K plate. It's a guy that is scared shitless. This was a short film I did with my... This is a short film I did with my students at Campus I-12. Unfortunately, Campus I-12 is closed now. Yeah, we filmed this. All of these are my students, including the main actor. And of course, he's looking very scared. He's looking very scared because he's looking at a monster right in front of him. So this was shot with the Blackmagic 4K production camera, which is a really nice camera because it has... doesn't have rolling shutter, you know, it's a progressive camera. So this is the main plate that we shot, and then we also had some CG. So I'm going to show you the final comp we did. Well, we didn't really do a final comp. I guess what I would say is this is kind of where we never finished this project. So this is kind of where we end off, you know, we didn't really finish the whole thing. Let it just cache, and then you can see it. There's so many showreels online, Jesus Christ. You guys need to be careful. You guys need to take it easy because you might have posted too many showreels. I don't want this stream to just be showreels, okay? So what I might do is maybe I'll post one, maybe I'll look at one showreel, then do some Nuke, and then do another showreel, and then do some Nuke. Maybe we should split it that way, because otherwise it's going to be very boring for a lot of people. So this is the shot I brought, and it's a CG shot rendered in V-Ray, and it's like this creature looking here. So as you can see, it's very nice, very pretty. And obviously we had to do the depth of field, and we have all the passes, and we're going to start comping this shot today. The reason why I'm comping this shot and not one of my production shots from like a home front or from any other thing is because I want to finish this project, and so might as well figured that instead of making this, like making a random shot from production, I'm gonna make this shot, and then I have the shot 4B for my short film. Oh, I can see CG Rockstar is facing some problems with slow internet today. I'm not able to stream. Oh, wow, you can only do 160p. I'm sorry about that. You should know, of course, CG Rockstar, that the Twitch is probably really packed. It's probably like millions of people on Twitch right now. So you need to kind of be aware that it's going to be a lot of people online. We alone have almost 100 people watching right now. So yeah. So this shot here is, like I said, is one of my personal projects, and so that's why I'm doing it online, so that we can do it. And we have all the passes. Of course, we have the beauty, the GI, and the lights and selective lights. We have a bunch of things here. I don't even remember how I comped that. I can tell you that I haven't really... Oh, I received a new emote. Look at that. So I have a bunch of new passes here and new things. I can't even remember. We shot this in 2016, so it's been 4 years. It was 4 years ago, so I can't really remember every single thing we did back then, but I'm sure I'll remember slowly. So this is the full CG plate we're gonna go for. Like I said, it's in V-Ray. It's 2.5K, not 4K. It has a lot of problems. It was never finished. Like, for example, it has like these dots that we need to paint. But we'll paint them. That's not a problem. It should be fine. So this is what I'm comping today. I also have another shot as well that I might as well show you. And this is going to be the next shot we're going to comp on the streams. Like I said, I'm trying to comp my own projects because then I can advance my short films and still teach you and still do the streams. So I think that's the best situation here. You know, we could kind of all of us come together here and kind of talk through this thing. So this is the other shot that I want to share with all of you, and that would be the next one most likely. I'm still deciding. So this is a quite creepy shot, so beware. This is a shot from the same short film. It's like this really creepy hand coming into the doorway, and it's full CG, and this shot is also V-Ray. This is going to be nice also to kind of go through that shot. So like I said, I'm going to try my best to just do shots of projects that I'm actually working on, so that we can kind of do that. Okay, so okay, cool. So I think you guys have so many questions. I'm gonna start with a couple of questions first, and we can come back to this Nuke thing. I'm gonna start with a couple of questions, and then we're gonna go for one show reel, and then we'll go to Nuke. So let's start. Let's scroll up. I think at this time we might need to stop the showreels. Don't forget that if I end up not being able to do a showreel today, don't worry. I'll just put it on the list and I'll do it next week, okay? So we'll just keep doing it that way. And don't forget, everyone here on this chat, that if you... Oh, I just noticed Log Tolini also subscribed for 12 months now. Thank you so much, Log Tolini. Because you're my first subscriber, you've been subscribed for 12 months now, you're going to force me to do an actual loyalty badge for 1 year, because I haven't done one yet, because you are the first person to reach 1 year loyalty. So I need to do a new loyalty badge just for you. Thank you so much for that, Lenny. So I'm going to go scroll through the questions. Okay, so let's see here. Showreel. This is just showreels. Where's the first question? Okay, so do you know? So first question here I have. Do you know where to buy separate monitor hoods? It seems that there are a lot of choices. Where if you want to buy a monitor hood, there is a lot. I usually do them on Amazon. Obviously, some of the monitors I buy bring their own hood. You know, like if you buy a monitor from BenQ, they have their own hood. But you could also buy them online. So in the past, I've done that on Amazon. I'm gonna share my screen in a second, so I'm just gonna show you. Amazon right now is probably the best place to buy things, because if you buy things on eBay, you might end up with a problem because people on eBay might be stuck at home and they might not be able to do it. So as you can see here from Amazon, you can probably get, you have multiple of them. For example, this one is good for 15 to 26 inch. You also have you have a ton of monitors, but anything that has like a size thing, so this one can go all the way from 15 to 26, so that would work. They're not too expensive either, but they're quite cool if you have a lot of light as well. So let's just go back to the chat. So another question here I have is, let's see here. So many showreels, Jesus Christ! You guys have been thirsty for a stream. Let's see here. So a question from 0511246875547895556564. I love your name. That's great. Congratulations for the amazing name. So your question is about Unreal 4 to Nuke. On how would Hugo solve Unreal 4 to Nuke? On how to get deep data from Unreal. I am sorry, you're asking the wrong person. I have rendered out AOVs from Unreal many, many times, and I think it's quite easy to do an AOVs, to have speculars and shadows and reflections and all those things, but I have never done deep data from Unreal. I am sorry. Maybe someone on the chat knows that. Maybe someone can answer this, because I really don't know how to do Unreal data, like deep data into Unreal. So maybe check that out on someone on the chat. Maybe someone knows that. Anyway, another question here I have from Slice Dave. I hope I do forgive me if I butcher anyone's name. Okay, you guys know I'm Portuguese. I have a terrible accent, just like Van Damme has. By the way, I'm going to share my T-shirt today. So this is my T-shirt today. It's the Van Dancer, which is. I really like Van Damme. I really like Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's, of course, because I love action films from the 90s. But this is a terrific film. And I actually have the film here. I believe this is from this film, so which is Kickboxer with Van Damme. A great way to pass the time now that we're all home is to watch Van Damme films. So would really recommend that. Anyway, the Van Dance, yes. Well, sorry, Portugal. I'm not going to speak in Portuguese. Well, Slice Dave asks, I have a question in this period. If you need to practice at home, especially in the CG comp, do you know of sites where you can find free material? So, Slice Dave, that's a really good question. I do not know of free places where you can find material to practice. Of course, I'm going to plug myself here. You could always subscribe to my Patreon or become a member on my YouTube channel, and then you could have access to the footage of my YouTube videos. So I do give the footage away if you are a Patreon of a certain level. So you could look into that, maybe support me on Patreon and I can give you some CG footage for you to practice. The other way you could do it is you could always join my online Nuke course, cool. Anyway, so I'm going to stop for the questions right now because we have done too many questions in a row. And I need to kind of break a little bit. So let's go a little bit into Nuke. Let's do a bit of compositing. I hope there's a lot of Nuke compositors out here. Thank you so much for SSHA. How do I say this? Shaim for subscribing for 12 months in a row. So you are also a 12-month subscriber, so now I really need to do the icon for the 1-year subscriber. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. So let's go to Nuke. I'm hoping that a lot of people here are Nuke artists, so I hope you don't mind if we go a bit to Nuke for a while instead of just going through the questions, and I'll get back to the first showreel maybe maybe in 20 minutes from now or something, and then we can go from the first showreel. We have like 10 showreels, I think maybe even more than that. So let's just go through the Nuke script for a little bit before we go into the showreel. So as I said, this is a V-Ray render. This is about 4 years ago, so it's really not aces or deep because this was 4 years ago, so it's not like we would do those kind of things 4 years ago, so that's why it's a little bit there's a bit of a loss of connection there. Wait a minute, I think I lost my signal. It's back now. You let me know if you have any issues with the connection, because if the sound is too high or if the connection is dropping, let me know. I can always drop down the quality, okay? Okay, cool. I think it hasn't dropped. Has it? No, it hasn't dropped. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, this is a CG comp. And the reason why I put this one here is because I think, because of the coronavirus, I really think that we are going to all start working a lot from home, and which is good because I've been working from home for 5 years. I love it. Like I run my entire company on my desk, as you know, and I've been working for 5 years remotely with teams up to 20 people, and it's really easy if you set up the pipelines to it. My next video on YouTube is actually about this topic. It's about how to deal with working from home. The video should be dropping very soon. The reason I did CG is because I know now that all the shoots, I'm going to put on full screen here so I can talk to you. Now that all the shoots are canceled, that we know that all commercials were canceled, all film shoots were canceled. Everyone kind of canceled all the filming outside because of the risk of the pandemic. I think we're going to have a huge influx of CG compositing, also CG itself, like doing CG, doing 3D, doing all those kind of things. And I think it's because there won't be any other way. People will have to do it in CG. They will have to do full CG projects. There's no other way. I can even see, I can already kind of see full CG commercials, full CG TV shows, full CG films, if we're really going to be home for a year. And so that's why I wanted to focus my attention on these streams with CG, because I think we're all going to have to be more used to CG than anything else. And I know a lot of people are so used to footage and keying and roto that they might not be used to working with full CG. I've been working with full CG for 20 years, so I want to kind of give you my my experience, So let's jump into Nuke. Let's jump back into Nuke. So this is the shot. And as I said, we have the footage. And now the footage is 4K. The footage is very dark. This was shot with a very old Blackmagic camera. So we have a bunch of problems on this footage. First of all, there's no dynamic range, so it's pretty clamped. As you can see, the lights are clamped. There's no value anymore. Although this is the best quality, it was shot on RAW. Unfortunately, we did lose some of the highlights. And also, as you can see, this camera has the particularity of actually having a sensor problem. So as you can see, very hot spots break with the sensor. So we're going to have to clean that up, unfortunately. We're going to have to clean that up. We're going to have to also clean up some of these tracking markers because the shot was so dark and there was so much depth of field on the shot that I kind of felt that we had to put some markers. Otherwise, we would never be able to 3D track this, okay? So that's why we have tracking markers there. We're not going to focus on the cleanup right now because I think, like I said, I think it's mostly people want to know about how to comp CG than anything else. So This is the plate. We also have a lens grid for the plate. So this is a 35mm lens. Love the decor. That's pretty cool. So this is a 35mm lens shot with a grid, and we shot the grid here. Doesn't have a lot of distortion because remember this camera, the Blackmagic camera 4K has a crop factor of 2.2, I think, or 1.7. So it crops 1.7 of the sensor. So there's like 1.7 out here that is lost. That's why you don't see so much distortion, you know. That's pretty much it. So let's that's going to be very necessary for the CG especially. And then, of course, we have the CG. The CG itself is very complicated this time. So I'm going to go into the beauty. We need to go a bit back to see the CG itself. So this, like I said, it's V-Ray. We're going to have to split this in parts. So beauty passes, light passes, and everything. So we have a diffuse here. We have a GI. So this is part of the lighting pass. Then we have the flashlight here. Just going to delete here, move these things out. We have the torch, we have the lights, the torch. Then we have the raw GI. The raw GI was going to be together with the light. I'm going to explain. Don't worry. I'm going to explain all of this, okay? Don't worry. We are going to go through all of this together. I'm just like grouping them up so that we can kind of like go through them together. And then I have a reflection here. I have a reflection filter. I have a shadow. I have some speculars, which are also part, and I have some stuff scattering. This is just, and then the rest I think is just utilities. I think, yeah, it is. The rest is utilities. Yeah, it is. Oh, wait a minute. There's another subsurfer scout. Oh, that's just utilities. Never mind. So we have everything we need to comp this. Let me just get the little sip here. Don't forget, I know I'm blowing my own horn here, but don't forget that if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel completely for free. You won't spend a dime. Amazon will pay me instead of you having to pay me. And it would really, really help my channel during this difficult time. So please feel free to subscribe to my channel using Amazon Prime. And if you don't know how to do it, just let me know. So we have a bunch of things here. Of course, obviously, the most important one is, one of the most important ones is this one. So this is what we call a diffuse beauty. And the diffuse beauty is mainly just the color information, okay? So this has no... Oh, by the way, we decided to render motion blur baked in. The reason why we did that was because it wasn't taking too long, and we kind of figured it's going to always look better than using like a random velocity pass. So we just decided to use the motion blur baked, and I think it was a good decision for a shot like this. So the diffuse, of course, is just the color. No shadows, no reflections, no light directions, nothing. It's literally just the color. So imagine if you are in Mari or if you are in Substance, this is what you would paint. It's quite cool that we even have some veins here. We have some scratches. My students did a really good job with this. You see these little veins going into the thing. It's really, really cool. And also, of course, the tongue and the mouth and the eye and everything. It's even the eyes have like little veins as well. They did an amazing job. I mean, the students were so good. So I'm really, really proud of what they've done. So that's just the diffuse. And obviously, this is going to help us with the raw CG that we have. Then we have like the raw GI. So this is the global illumination, okay? And global illumination is basically what we would say the bounce light, okay? So all the lights that are bouncing around on the scene would be part of the global illumination. And this, of course, is the raw global illumination. That means it has no reflections on it, and it has no directional light. It's just the global illumination. We also have, of course, the global illumination without being raw as well. We then have the raw light. So this is every single light on the scene. And so this is just the color, not just the light itself, no color, texture, or skin. So it doesn't have some sort of scattering, it doesn't have skin, it doesn't have anything. You can kind of see that it has the spotlight, it has everything else, but it doesn't have the actual texture. And then, of course, we have the regular light, which is already baked. So we'll talk about why we have two in a second. Then we have the torch. So this is just a bit of a light that we did for the torch, you know, because obviously all these dudes here were using torches, you know, like they have a bunch of torches everywhere. So we had to make some way a torchlight, which, by the way, we're going to have to like flicker, you know, it's going to have to flicker a little bit for it to work. So I'm going to, let's see, one thing I forgot to check. Am I running the right localization script? Yes, I am. I thought it was a bit slow, so that's why I was just double checking if I'm running the correct thing or not. So you guys don't stop talking there. Look at that. I would like to thank very much to Anthony NKI for the subscription tier 1. Thank you so much for that. And Vedoka for the follow. Thank you so much for that. So that's that pass. And then we have also, that was the torch pass. Where was I? Torch pass. We also have the fill light. So this is just a regular fill. The cool thing about V-Ray is that we can separate all the lights. And so we did. Like we have the torch light here. We have the fill light here. And then we have the flashlight, just the flashlight. We also have the other fill light from the other side and the other torch. So basically 2 torches, 2 fill lights, and a flashlight. So it's like these are all the lights on our scene. Basically the front light from the main character, which was tracked to the flashlight. We then have the fill light from the left side, the fill light from the right side, the torch from the front, and the torch from the right side. So these were the locations where people were with torches, and that's why we did that. Can't believe there's 90 people watching. Look at that. That's amazing. So much people. So much people. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope everyone is super safe. And I hope all your family is together on this very, very hard time. Thank you so much for joining me as well today. I really, really appreciate that. And I really hope that you are all very, very well on your health right now. So we also have, of course, a reflection. We have a reflection filter, which is the way we filter where the reflection should be visible or not. And then, of course, we have a specularity pass, which is very linked to the spotlight that he has in the front, okay? So then we have a shadow. I know you can hardly see it. I can guarantee it's there. It is there. I forgot to mention in the beginning, we're going to do some showreel reviews and also answer some questions. And if you have any questions about working from home, please feel free. Because I'm making a video on YouTube about working from home right now. So if you have some cool questions, just let me know. And I also forgot that I really wanted to play Doom today on the stream as well, because I have the actual Doom helmet. So I should put my helmet on. I actually need to show you this. So I actually bought the special edition of Doom, and I have my helmet with me. Just gonna go to Facebook here real quick and show you what I mean. Look at my dog here. Say hello to my dog, Pammy. She was very sick during Christmas, but she's feeling much better now. Thank you so much, Tomazos, for the subscription Prime. Much appreciated, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, I love this. This is my favorite fake news post ever. Look at that. They've dropped 800 tigers and lions over the country to push people to stay home. If this was true, obviously you can actually see the fake painting here. You can actually see, even with the compression, you can actually see that there's like a brush here with blur, a brush there with blur. You can literally see they've rotoed the lion, put them here. You can actually see it there. So not very well made, not very well made. But what I wanted to show you was this. I wanted to show you my mask. There, look at that. So I wanted to play a bit of Doom because Doom is amazing. And look at this. Just look at it. Look at it. Look at it. It's so cool. It even has lights. It actually has lights. It's fucking awesome. I can't believe that. I love this one, though. Johan here made a version for us. Like, this is the budget version of the same mask. Very appropriate at this time, I think, that he's hoarding all the toilet paper. You see, it's because of Johan Romero here that we do not have toilet paper. It's because of him. Look at him. Just look at that. Anyway, congratulations, Johan. You deserve a Shia LaBeouf clap. Thank you so much for that. That was probably one of the best jokes I've seen in a long time. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. That was really, really cool, man. Thank you so much for that. Anyway, as I was saying, I wanted to play some Doom, so I hope we get to do that. It would be nice. Maybe at the end of the stream, when we are all relaxing a little bit, we can just do that. Anyway, as I was saying, this is the Shadow Pass, which Don't worry, the shadow pass is possible to use, but it's a bit tricky, a bit fiddly to actually use for sure. And then we have, of course, the subsurface scattering. Now, this is what we called just the skin, okay? So that means, you know, when you put, like, light behind your earlobe, or you put a light source, like if you do this, you know, if you put, like, you see, like that. So if you do that, you know, oh, sorry, like that. So if you do this, this is subsurface scattering. So basically, if you have a strong light inside your skin, you basically get this kind of semi-transparency happening in your on your hand. It's not it's a great way to do a very, very cheap magic trick, so that people think that your hand is kind of getting really warm. But it also works really cool for showcasing subsurface scattering. But yeah, that's what a subsurface scattering is. Subsurface scattering is basically the skin of material of the scene of the character. Okay, cool. So what else we have? Yeah, and then of course we have other stuff. We have some utilities. Now the utilities are going to be very different. So we have utilities. I don't think this one actually has utility. I think this is probably a mistake. But this one, I think some of them are not working, because I noticed that... oh yeah, no, wait a minute. No, they're not. I think I did remember that when my students made this, like, there were some utilities that didn't work. This is the UV. If we actually want to put some more dirt on him, you could use the UVs for that. We also have a depth pass, which is actually not anti-aliased. So this one is very good for the depth of field, although there's not going to be a lot of depth of field going on here. We also have, of course, the object ID. I know now these days people use people tend to use like Cryptomat, but I don't really have Cryptomats on this project because this project is so old. So this is the Beauty Pass. This is a Cryptomat, the old school way, red, green, and blue, which works just fine. And then we also have like a Fresnel Pass in case we want to hump those reflections. And then we have some Dirt Pass. This is like just some V-Ray Dirt, which is a pass that V-Ray can output really quickly, which is nice. It basically really helps you to do some ambient occlusion as well. Now, I don't know where the depth pass is. Did I forget it? Give me just 1 second. I need to find the depth pass because I'll need it. Did I forget to bring it in? I think I did. Let's see here. So this one has no utilities. That one has... Oh, wait a minute. There's also an object ID here. So that's going to be needed as well. So I have 2 object IDs. I didn't notice it's only when the mouth is open. I forgot about that. Specular highlights, I don't see any here, and there's no depth pass. Yeah, we're missing a depth pass that I need to find then. So this means I don't need this one, don't need that one, don't need this one. Now, what I'm missing is the depth. Where is the depth? This is the sample rate, which I don't need either. I need to find the depth pass. This is... Oh, yeah, sorry. What am I talking about? This is the depth pass. I am silly today. Sorry about that. What am I talking about? So yeah, so now we have everything we need. So these would be just extra passes we would need for making this shot apart from the beauty. And that's it, really. So let's just get started, shall we? I think we've been doing the stream for a while now. So as I always do, don't forget that we always do a break to stretch our legs, because we need to, now, especially now more than ever, we need to really stretch our legs because we're going to be home for so long. So... I'm going to do a little break, okay? So no one goes anywhere. Just give me like maybe 3 minutes, and I would invite you all to get up of your chair, to basically stretch your legs, and maybe get some water. Maybe just chill for a few minutes, and maybe close your eyes and do some eyes exercise so you don't have your eyes too tired. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Nikki Lee just came back as well. She subscribed for 12 months. So again, third person now that I have to make a badge for 12 months. Thank you so much for the resubscription. Much appreciated. So I'm gonna return very soon. Okay, let's all do a break. Please get up. Please stretch your legs. Okay, I'll be very, very soon. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to like stretch my legs and get some water, and had a really small break for the loo. Sorry about that. So maybe I think before I move on to continue the Nuke workshop that we're doing, and by the way, this workshop is of course not going to finish today. Don't forget that this is going to take a while. It's probably going to be like several days of streaming until I can kind of get that shot to be done. But that's good because then we can have more streams as well. One Lou Marado is asking, I don't know if I'm subscribed here with Amazon Prime. I don't know. Like you say, it says subscribed on the little icon, so you're definitely subscribed. But check maybe your settings and see if it's there. Now, I have so many showreels, I think I would give a disservice to everyone if I wouldn't watch at least a few. So let's start by the first showreel, okay? So people sent so many that I have to scroll up all the way to the chat here to try to get them. Okay, so let's see here. So the first showreel is from someone called Mandeep Singh 264. So I hope I pronounced your name correctly. And I'm going to put the showreel on the screen here. So I hope you're all here still. Oh my God, this scared me here. Look at that. So let's watch this showreel. So like I said, this showreel is from someone called Mandeep Singh 264. I think that's the name. I don't know if you're still online. If you're still online, then we're going to go for this. Mandeep Singh. So I'm going to remove the sound, okay? The reason I'm going to remove the sound is because I'm going to be flagged on YouTube and on Twitch if I put the sound. So I do forgive me if I'm going to remove the sound, okay? So let's get. This is Showreel 2020 incomplete. I like that. It's incomplete right now. Foundry Nuke After Effects System 4D. I'm just going to roll the thing here and put it in full screen. I'm just going to actually put it on the top so that you can actually see it, okay? So I'm going to just do that real quick so that you all see it without any logos, anything. So let's watch the showreel first. Again, forgive me, I'm reviewing the sound, okay? And just because I don't want to be flagged by Twitch and YouTube. So let's just watch the showreel first. Don't worry, everyone. I am still here. It's just that we removed the sound because of the flagging from Twitch and YouTube and all the things, all the problems they give me. So that's why we removed the sound. We are still here. This is a long showreel, man. 2.5 minutes is. That's, I guess, already my first feedback is that this is too long. It's way too long for a showreel. Usually we don't watch showreels this long. When I was at the mill and I would supervise showreels when I was the head of Nuke there, anything like that would be more than 1.5 minutes, I would literally not even watch it. So you need to be careful with that. Oh, okay. It is 1.5 minutes. It's just that you have a lot of black at the end. Okay, never mind. So that's fine. Sorry, guys. I got a little bit. I had a bite to eat, and now it's on my throat a little bit. So let's go back there and start over. Let me just do one thing here. So let's start with everything from the beginning. So yeah, I understand that it's incomplete, of course. I'm assuming you want to become either because this is my first question to you would be, Do you want to be a composer? Do you want to be a motion graphic artist? Or do you want to be an After Effects artist? Because when you're sending a showreel like this to people, to companies, you need to be careful that if you send this to a compositing company, a company that is asking for a composer, they won't really think of you to fill that seat. The reason for that is because you don't have enough compositing in your showreel. But if you are going to be able to put this showreel, to After Effects artists, then it's different. Then you can, of course, maybe get hired, but then you don't have enough motion graphic anyway. But let's start with the first thing. First of all, I think it's good that you have your name, your email, and phone number. That's all correct, as it should be. It might be good if you would try to clear this up. This is very confusing, because I can kind of see email / and then your name twice plus the name. So you need to be careful that they might think that your email is actually email / and the rest of the name. So you might want to separate or give it a space or 2 points. I know this sounds stupid, but it is like important, because they might not be able to reach you. Okay. So that's it. So the second thing, let's start with so first of all, this is really not a compositing showreel, okay? So be careful, because for you to be in a compositing showreel, you would have to have green screen, you would have to have rotoscoping, you would have to have cleanup, you would have to have footage, and you don't really have any of that. So this is really not a compositing showreel. This is more like a VFX artist showreel, or maybe like a motion graphic showreel, or an After Effects showreel. So be careful with that. Now, I'm assuming you did the CG as well. Could you let me know that? So if you did the CG, there's a couple of things that I would say to your CG quality. I would definitely look into product photography, because I think your if you look at product photography, if you look at how professional photographers do their pack shots, they would never light the shot with such dim light, So you need to be careful that you should bring in more light into the scene, and you should really get used to product photography, especially if you look at how they do pack shots with bottles and with vodka bottles or those kind of things. Like, you need to kind of study the great photographers of design and of fashion to see if you can learn something from them. Now, this one here, I think it's a lot better than the last one, although I think that you went a bit too far. Like, it's a bit overexposed. You have way too much light on the scene, especially you have all these highlights completely blown out. There would never be a client asking you to have such high highlights, and this is the thing. Like, you need to be careful, because it's so overexposed that they might be a bit reticent to get this shot delivered. I don't know if this is a real project that you delivered, but even if you've delivered this project for real, it does have that problem for me, in my view, from a look point of view. Also, the bottles look like they're floating in the air. That's especially because of the text you put on the bottom, so it all kind of mixed, like the shadow with the text and the shadow with the bottle, and then it kind of looks like they're floating in the air, and that's a shame, because it would have been nice if they were just like they're stuck. The other thing as well is your depth of field is really extreme, so I might want to look into that as well. Now, this thing here with motion graphics, this looks pretty cool. And also, one thing I don't like about you on your showreel is that you keep repeating the shots. So for example, you just did there the Jeep, the Tesla Jeep, and I don't think you should show it and then show it later. You should focus on showing one shot, the breakdown, and then go to next shot, the breakdown, and then go to next shot and the breakdown. So just be careful with that, because you're matching shots. So all these ads are really nice. I don't believe you should have After Effects desktop actually in the showreel. No one needs to see that. No one needs to know that it was done in After Effects or not. They know because you've put it on the name of the showreel. You're just wasting real estate space on your showreel by showing a desktop. Now, be careful. I really hope you don't get upset by all my feedback. I am very blunt with feedback, so I hope everyone here on this stream can get used to that, because I am very, very blunt with the feedback. The other thing as well that I would say is that this shot looks okay, but it's a bit strange, because first of all, it looks to me like a very simple shot to do, because you don't really have much going on. There's except like a little bit of a rack defocus. But even your rack defocus has, for some reason, some anamorphic lenses, which I don't really know why. And also, like, you have this smoke coming into the screen, and this smoke looks really off scale. It looks like it's too big, and also your depth of field looks a bit too extreme. Again, I would really recommend you to look at product photography, looking at how photographers actually take photos of pack shots, and also how cinema sets up a camera, because I think you went a bit too far with the depth of field, and went a bit too far with lighting as well. It's a bit too dark, and it doesn't really have anything popping out right now. Now, this shot here, I've seen this shot already before, and I don't know really why you keep repeating the shots. I think you need to, like, not repeat shots so often, because you already showed it before. It's an okay shot, but it does have live action, but it's not like it's really hard, this track. And I think it's rather confusing to watch it this way. One thing I did notice was that your track is sliding. So your keyboard here is sliding against the plate too much. As you can see here, you can kind of see that the plate is actually sliding with the keyboard, and I don't really know what's going on there. There's something wrong going in there. The other thing as well, you do not need to show Nuke on the showreel. There's no point if you showing Nuke in the showreel. None of us need to see this. We just need to see the breakdown, and your breakdown shouldn't be done through using the actual desktop of Nuke. And the other problem with this is that then you're just opening yourself to problems, because then now I can see how you comp, and I can kind of see that you might have done some mistakes on the comp. You might have some wrong things on the comp. You never want to show the actual nodes, because you might get a lot of criticism from the nodes. Also, there's no point of you showing me that you have DaVinci, Everyone has DaVinci. DaVinci is free, so I don't need to see the work. I don't need to see the desktop of DaVinci. What I need to see is your grading. So what you need to do is you need to do like a breakdown of the grading. So you see, you've already spent like at least 25 seconds on this shot with showing me DaVinci and showing me Nuke and showing me the script. What I should really see is a breakdown. I should just see the steps, the breakdown, and what you've done on the shot, nothing else. And I think you wasted too much time there. And again, now we're back at this shot, which we've seen already before. And now we're seeing it again. And I think it's really confusing. You need to put these shots and group them together. And again, I don't need to see Cinema 4D on this. There's no point of me showing you this. Unless you're doing a video tutorial, there's no point. And most recruitment people that are hiring artists, they won't even know these desktops. They won't even know what this is. So it's much more... it's much better if you focus on doing breakdowns, and try to remove all these flashes from the breakdowns as well. The reason why I'm telling you to remove the flashes is because you need to be careful. You might have someone that is sensitive to light or sensitive to strobe lights, and then you might really have a problem by showing the showreel. So be careful with that as well. I know I'm giving you a lot of negative feedback, but it's not negative, it's constructive feedback. That's how I see it, okay? Yeah, I think Linny is right there. Like, I don't believe we will be able to go through all the showreels. It's impossible. That's not going to happen, but I'll try my best. So this shot here, again, a couple of problems. Your hand looks not physically accurate, so you have a lot of anatomy problems here, and I would really recommend you to go and study anatomy of a hand. You can either take photos of your own hand, or you can read some books of anatomy. For example, if you go to Amazon, there's so many of these books, So if I go to Amazon here real quick, let's see here, and I think there was one that I used to wait a minute. There was one that I used to buy. Why can't I go up? That's weird. I can't go up to the search bar of Amazon. That's bizarre. Never seen that. Oh, here we go. So anatomy book. I think there was a really cool one that I saw a couple of months ago. Drawing. It was like for drawing, I think. Oh, I mispronounced drawing. Look at that. I'm just. Yeah, I don't know, like you kind of have to like look into this, but there's quite a few books like that. But it's always nice for you to look into this and see how anatomy really operates. And also, of course, it's important for you to understand that oh shit, I closed your showreel. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let me just see here. Recently closed. That would have been where's the I think I need to copy it again. Sorry for that. Sorry. Close your show reel by mistake. Yeah, here you go. So where were we? Yeah, the anatomy of the hand. So you need to be careful with the anatomy of the geometry because your hand looks very fake, especially when you lift the hand from the can. I'm not even going to talk about the lighting because it's also very dark for a pack shot, and also your lighting is subpar right now. But the hand is the biggest issue right now, the modeling of the hand. Yeah. Fant98 says, damn, didn't think watching other people's showreel review would be so useful. Okay, that's cool. Well, yeah, it is. Like people underestimate the fact that watching reviews of showreels is really, really cool. And also it helps a lot for you to kind of understand what you shouldn't do on your shot as well. So that's why I'm doing them, you know. I thought that was funny that you thought that it wasn't going to be this interesting. I think that's the last shot, isn't it? So yeah, I think that's the last shot. Yeah, there you go. So you have a lot of work in front of you, young man, or young, I guess, yeah, young man. I don't know how old you are, but so I'm assuming you're young. But you have a lot of work ahead of you, and you really need to. If you're gonna want to do composting, be careful, because if you want a composting position, you're gonna have to put depth. You're gonna have to put rotoscoping, keying, and actual compositing in the showreel. Because without composting on the showreel, you're never gonna get anywhere. You're never gonna get a position. Okay, you're 19. Okay, if you're 19, this is really cool, man. Like, you've done really good work. So don't despair. You know, like it's. I think it's really, really nice. Anyway. Let's do one more showreel before I go into Nuke, and then we're going to jump into Nuke. So you guys have sent me so much that, you know, it's going to be tricky, but I'm going to try. Let's see here. So let's look at the showreel from a French dude here. He's called Petro Jetrix. He's French, 20 years old, and learning. Okay, cool. Well, we're all learning. Even I am learning. Don't worry about that. So... thanks so much, Nuke Alma. Look at that. That's a great name, Nuke Alma. That is a great name. That's a great name. Okay, so let's go back to the showreel here. So this is the showreel from Pierre Mollé. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. So this is a showreel, I'm assuming, for composting. Again, I'm going to do like I did before. I'm just going to like remove my my lower thing and just leave your showreel. I'm going to put this in full quality, full HD, and let's just watch it first. Again, I'm going to remove the sound because I don't want to be flagged on sound copyright. Let's just watch it first. For those of you joining the stream now, don't worry, I am here. We're just watching Pierre's showreel right now, and we're gonna give them some feedback. And then we're gonna move on to some Nuke composting as well. I'm just like oh, I forgot to say one thing to everyone. I'll say it in a minute. Okay, cool. So let's just stop that, and I'm gonna put myself back on the screen. I forgot to say one thing that is very important before we move on. I know that before, back in the day, like when I was streaming last year, only people that actually were subscribers could watch the replay of my stream. I just wanted to all let you know that because of the coronavirus pandemic, and because I know some of you, or so many of you, are home, I have opened that up now to everyone. So for the next 90 days... every stream I do will be on Twitch, because obviously Twitch deletes the streams 90 days after. Now, before, last year, for you to watch a stream from, to watch a replay, if you've, you know, for example, if you've missed my stream live, you would have to subscribe to my channel, you know. Now, because I know so many of you are home, and because I want to support this community as much as I can, I've opened that up now. So everyone can watch my replays of my streams, even if you're not subscribed. Obviously, 90 days from now, the video will be gone. And then the only way for you to watch the video is if you actually are a Patreon or a member of my YouTube channel. So that means 90 days from now, it will be deleted. Sorry, I think it's 60. I don't believe it's 9. I think it's, sorry, I'm my mistake. It's 60 days. So once Twitch deletes the stream 60 days from now, you won't be able to watch it again unless if you're a member or a Patreon. But for now, for these 60 days, anyone can watch it for free. I just want everyone to know that because I want to make sure our community is supported. But obviously, that doesn't mean you shouldn't subscribe. You should definitely subscribe to my channel still, because obviously I need your support and I need to have support to keep the channel going, and I need to have support for the actual so that I can actually pay my streams and I can actually have my YouTube channel open. Okay, I just wanted to all of you to know that I'm opening that for free. But don't forget that if you actually have Amazon Prime for free, you can definitely do this for free. You know, you can give me the Amazon Prime subscription and I can get the money from Amazon, and you guys don't spend any money. Anyway, so Mandeep, I'm glad you liked my review. I'm sorry if it was very harsh. I am really sorry. And now it's time for Pierre to suffer the same consequence. I would like to thank also Ninja Meat Man for the subscription on Prime. Much appreciated for the subscription, Ninja Meat Man. And also I would like to thank Pablo Arast for the follow. Thank you so much for that. I got an SMS from Toby, which is one of my friends in New York. And I guess you're watching my stream, Toby, aren't you? I'm not going to say what you wrote here because it's not appropriate. But I hope you're good, man. I really hope you're good there in New York. I know New York in lockdown and London is locked down as well. And we need to do a phone call. We really need to do a phone call very soon, man. We need to. I hope you and Pia are all both healthy and well, you know. And I hope you're working from home, man. So let's. This started playing other things. Let's go back to Pierre's showreel. So Pierre, I think your showreel was nice, but I have some comments, and I hope you don't mind my comments. I really hope so. So let's start with the beginning. So first of all, compositing showreel, Pierre. So yes, Pierre, you have actually made a compositing showreel. So that means your showreel is from compositing. You don't have enough compositing on the showreel, but you know you're getting there. Like you said, you're still learning. So you're basically starting. So let's go through this here. You just read it. Okay. So let's start with the first one. So this is 3D tracking, keying, 3D environment, and compositing. I do apologize you don't see the screen, but Pierre has written everything down there on the corner. It's just because I'm on full screen, so you don't see it. So let's start with this shot. So this shot really showcases your keying capability, which is great. This is the kind of shot that, for example, what's his name? Mandeep should have on his showreel. So if Mandeep wants to have compositing, he needs to put these kind of shots. So as you can see, you did some keying. It looks not perfect. So first of all, Pierre, you have a bit of a black edge around the whole thing. So I can kind of, and this is a Vimeo Vimeo compressed signal. You know, if I would have been watching this at full quality, I would even detect more problems, because if I was watching this on ProRes or something like that, you would be in a lot of trouble. But I can clearly see there's like a little tiny black edge going on around the whole thing. And especially as you move on here, you can kind of see some of the hairs have a little bit of a black tone. And this is a very typical problem. This is a problem that comes either from a pre-multiplication problem you have on your comp, or it could also be that you need to extend your edges using the new Nuke extend edges of Nuke and basically try to colorize them or color correct them a bit, okay? It's very, very hard for you to do that, but you definitely need that, okay? The other thing as well that you need to do is you need to put a proper light trap, okay? This is not correct. There is no way in the world that this light trap would do this much light, because as you can see, what's happening here, this is not the actual sun, okay? This is the sun being reflected to the water. So that means that it wouldn't be as strong if it was the sun. And right now, this looks like she has the hair on fire. You know, it's like her head is on fire. So you need to be careful because this is way too much. I think you have. They say, "Whoa, I can't even see that shit." Okay, sorry about that. Everyone on the chat here needs to understand that I've been doing this for 20 years, guys. Okay, I've been doing this for 20 years. I was a VFX supervisor at the mill for 5 years. I was the head of the nuclear compositing department. This was my job. You know, my job was to review shots every day. My job was to review shots several times a day and really zoom in 400% on things, okay? And I can tell you that when we did that, we didn't use compressed Vimeo links. We would have the full quality XR playing back on a huge plasma. So we really, really went deep into it, and especially Toby here is on the stream here. And he knows that because he was one of my senior compositors on my team at the mill. So he knows exactly how deep we went. We really went deep into the shots. This is nothing, guys, and you need to get prepared because if you go to a company, a VFX supervisor is gonna rip your shot apart. So you need to really be careful because you need to understand most films are watched really big on a big cinema, you know. Thank you so much, Mirko Torno. I'm sure I butchered that for the subscription Prime. Mirko Torno, I guess that's the name. Thank you so much for the subscription. Much appreciated. So let's get back to this. So the light wrap, I think, needs to be maybe 25% of this. You'd probably have to cut this by 4 times because it's really destroying your edges there. And even worse is the before. Like, can I go frame by... I hate Vimeo. I can't go frame by frame. So if I go and try to stop exactly where it is, there, look at that. She looks like she's burning, and that's not correct. So you need to kind of basically make the scatter of the light wrap bigger and make this little corner smaller. So what I usually do is I do 2 light wraps. I have one light wrap just for the edge, and then one light wrap that is much softer for the scattering of the light. Okay, that would be how I would do it. So you have edge problems and you have the light wrap problem, but this is definitely a nice shot. Now, I wanted to ask you something. What's going on with this background here? Is this background CG? Is it just like a matte painting? It's rather nice, but I think it is flickering too much. I can kind of see that your water is flickering, and that's a problem. You might want to either up the samples of your render, or you might want to consider cleaning up some of the passes of your render, you know. So that's kind of what you need to kind of look into. But it's a nice shot, definitely a nice atmospheric shot. I think you did well here. Still have the same problem on this shot as well. Still the same thing. Yeah, there you go. Now this shot here, your rotoscoping is okay, but it's not perfect. So I think you lost some edges, especially if I go here. I'm going to see if I can grab him. Oh, I wish I could. You know what I'm going to do, guys? Because I need to, like, watch this properly. So I'm gonna pirate your thing, okay? I hope you don't mind, but I need to frame by frame your showreel. And to do frame by frame your showreel, I need to download your showreel. So you don't have a showreel button, so I'm just going to use a regular one of these shitty websites to just download your showreel. Next time, if people want to share the showreel, maybe you want to consider actually send me an actual file. Oh, okay. So this one did not work. Okay, fine. I'll try another one. There's always so many links and so many things, and now some of them don't work and some of them work, and it's like, oh, I hate this. I hate this. Okay, so now this one doesn't work either. Just want to download the Vimeo link. Come on. Come on. Yes, download now. Does this one work? No, of course not. Why would it? Okay, no, that's not what I want. Oh, I hate this. Does anyone know a good place to download Vimeo videos directly? Because I hate this. Hate this sometimes. It is just so annoying sometimes. Does it work like that? Does this one work? Result not found. Oh, God. Well, never mind. Okay, fine. I won't download your showreel. I just needed to go frame by frame because you can kind of see, well, you can actually see here, your edges are really lacking of quality. So And if I could go frame by frame, I could. Oh, clip converter. Okay, I'm gonna try that. Clip converter, you say? Let's try that. If it doesn't work, it's gonna be your fault. Oh no, clip converter. Okay, so you say it's called clip converter. You said. Oh, but this one does. Nah, but this one doesn't. Does this one do Vimeo? I don't think it does Vimeo. Does it do Vimeo? I think this is just for YouTube, isn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, it does Vimeo. Oh, I thought it was. I thought it only did YouTube. Okay. Oh, look at that! I have like a new message from Bruna. Bruna is oh shit! What is this? Oh my God! What is that? Oh, Jesus, that I've never seen before. I guess I want the first one. I don't know. This is Thank you so much, Mani Shankar, for the subscription on YouTube, and thank you so much, Tara Gong CG, for the follow. And we still have a message here from Bruna. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, I love my girlfriend. Look at that. You're back. Thank you so much. Hi. I have so many people that I know here. That's so cool. So cool that you're all back. It's all back. It's like old friends meeting again. This is great. How long is this gonna take? Jesus Christ. Okay, should we do a break? Maybe we should do a break. It's been already an hour and a half. Maybe we should do a break while this is converting. Okay, 30%. Look at that, it's rendering. I guess a lot of people are online now, right now, so maybe I'll go for some questions while I'm waiting for this conversion. So let's see if we have some questions at the end of the stream here. So questions. Let's see here. Sorry, so the Unreal thing I already answered. Material for the practice already answered. Okay, so I have a question here from Rajput. It says, which software would you recommend for VFX project management apart from Shotgun? That's a great question. So I actually can recommend this software. So F-Track is a company that I've been using for 10 years. I'm going to just put it on the screen here. So this is F-Track. It's the company. It's the management tool that I've been using for 10 years now. I started using it in Sweden, and I'm going to put it on the chat. Okay, so it's on the chat there for you. And so F-Track. So this is the question from Rajput. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can tag you, Rajput. I use F-Track. Okay, so F-Track is something I used in Sweden, and then I started using it at the mill as well. At the mill, we use F-Track as well. I currently use F-Track for my company, my remote company, because as you know, I have a remote company, and we work remotely for the last 10 years, really, almost. We've been working remotely. So one thing you should know is that F-Track is actually a sponsor of my online course, and they also sponsor my YouTube channel occasionally, so you definitely should look into it. They are also giving away for free F-Track review, so anyone right now could have F-Track for review for free, so you should really look into that. Okay, so the showreel is done, so let's just open up the showreel. So Pierre, now it's going to be worse. Now I'm going to go frame by frame, so... and now I can actually go frame by frame and show you the edges of this. So you see, the problems with the edges that I was talking about is this. You see all these black edges? That's no good. That's no good. So let's go into the roto, and now I can go frame by frame. You're doomed now. Okay, so first off, here, this shot. As you can see, when you look at the helmet and you look at the motorbike, motion blur is all affected. So you see, you have a couple of pixels of motion blur there, and you also have a couple of pixels of motion blur here. Now, the problem you have is that when you did the roto, you don't have any motion blur anymore. You kind of removed the motion blur, which is a problem. So especially here, look at here. Are you really going to tell me that this is the actual edge of the helmet and the edge of the bike? Because it's not. You can clearly see that it's like a cutout. So you need to kind of recover some of the edges. And I know this is difficult because what the problem you're going to have is that the edges have the color of the background, right? That's the issue. But that's why you need to do the roto, and then you need to use an extend node to extend the pixels inside of the helmet to drag them into the limits of the helmet. And that's how you do use it, by using an extension node. That's the only way you can fix this, because at the moment, this is really not working. And you have many problems like that. Even here, for example, you've cut too much of the helmet and the bike as well. You've cut too much of the... and also, the other thing you should do is once you extend the edges and you recover those edges where they should be, then you should apply a motion blur on top, because it should have motion blur, your roto. So you either should put motion blur on the roto, or you should add motion blur on top of everything, okay? And by the way, you've misspelled rotoscoping. Rotoscoping is not pronounced like this, so you need to be careful, because it's not written like this. You've written it rotoscopy. So you basically written rotoscopy, and it's rotoscoping, not rotoscopy, okay? Be careful with that. This is an advice I give to everyone on this stream. You should always check every spelling thing that you have. For that, I would recommend you using Grammarly. I use Grammarly for everything. I'm just going to log out so you don't see my text. So Grammarly is definitely the best thing for you to check. It's free, and it can be integrated to all your applications. And basically, you can use it to really help not have any mistakes. You can add it to Safari. You can add it to your email. It's a plugin. You can even have it on your phone. And then it really gives you the correct words for everything, including how they should be written, pronounced, and all those kind of things. And it even gives you choices of whatever words you can choose as well. So don't let yourself be careful with that, okay? So going back to this, I think your environment also needs more motion blur. Definitely, if you look at the original environment, just look at this. If you look, for example, at the amount of motion blur we have here. So you see, we have almost, maybe probably 50 pixels of motion blur going on this building. And then once you put your things, once you put your matte painting, there's hardly any motion blur. Look at that. It almost goes frame by frame with no motion blur. So you see, from this frame to that frame, I should see a huge streak of motion blur, and I don't. So you need to kind of be careful. You need to go back to the shot and basically match both motion blurs, okay? You need to match the motion blur from the other plate. So basically looking at the other plate and copying the same motion blur. My advice to you would be this. If you have this shot, let me just go into Nuke here real quick and show you what I mean. So if I go in here, oh, what is it now? What is Nuke doing? Okay. Did it crash? Yeah, of course it did. Why? I just leave Nuke alone for a bit and now it's crashing. Of course it is. Okay, now it's back. Sorry about that. So let's go back and bring your showreel here into the shot. So where did I... Oh yeah, it's on the downloads. So I need to like open up the downloads, go to my home, downloads, and it would have been the last one, I guess. So that's the one. So let's go in here. I'm not going to comp it. I'm just going to show you this thing, okay? So if we go to the motorbike shot, let's, for example, look at it through here. So you see, let's look at through here. So if we look at the amount of motion blur we have per object on objects here, let's say objects that are really close to camera, let's say that we have from one frame to the other, this object here is motion blurring this much if you go frame by frame. So it's almost like if I put like, I'm just going to open this up a little bit because I don't have this in HD, so I can't really see. So let's, where's the, yeah, here we go. So you see, the way that you can calculate this really easily is to just check how much motion blur you actually have on the pixel. So for example, look at this object here. The amount of motion blur you have is roughly this much. So that's the amount of motion blur you have from one frame to the other. You see there? That's like the size of it. And that means that you kind of have to have the same kind of size on the footage. So if I go a bit further with your footage, you see here, you don't have enough motion blur. It's almost like the motion blur should have been like this. If I put some fake motion blur, it should have been, it's going to be a bit slow now. It's just calculating. Although I have 2 GPUs, it's still going to be slow. Of course, because it's always slow. Oh, look at that. Error multi-devices. Okay, never mind. Why would he do that? Why would he not want to use my 2 graphic cards? Because Nuke is just dumb, I guess. So you see, if I put motion blur here, and I put maybe samples of 10, and I put 0.5, which is the normal thing here. So you see, this is how much motion blur actually should probably be on the scene. And if I disable this... wait a minute. Guess we need to wait for it to calculate it. Ah, what is he doing now? Wait a minute, wait a minute. This is now crashed or something, I don't know. Oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, so you see, that's how much motion blur you should actually have in the scene. So be careful with that. I just wanted to like let you know that. I think I'm gonna close Nuke because Nuke is just crashed, I think. So I'm gonna just save here, and I think both of them crashed. This is the cool thing about Nuke. No matter how fast the machine is, it always crashes, doesn't it? So, and also it crashes as well. It does a hard crash. Look at that. I have to force quit it as well. God damn it. God damn. I hope no one from the Foundry is watching, because this is not going well here. Yes, please keep the chat in English. Please do that, because a lot of people don't know French. Okay, so going back to your showreel, let's go back to the showreel, the rest. So also, not to mention that the other thing I would say is that, where's the controller? Okay, here we go. The other thing I would say is your matte painting also needs some love, okay? Because there's definitely, you need to look at photography from landscapes. It doesn't usually get so gray as well. It needs more atmospherics, and it definitely needs more motion blur from layer to layer. Like, for example, this layer should be much more motion blur than that one, and this one should be much more motion blur than that one. So you need to have more motion blur in depth, okay? So that's really important for you to do. And even at the end as well. So now this shot looks cool. I think you did well. Looks nice. It's very cool. It's actually one of your best shots. Your snow looks a bit too big, which is a problem. Like, I think the droplets are too big. We are so far away. And also, you're lacking a bit of dynamic range here, but it is looking cool. And then this one here, again, you mispronounced rotoscoping. And then you did some depth pass. This shot looks nice, man. This shot looks quite nice. You do have a lot of flickering edges here. Just look at this. If I go frame by frame, you used to have like a line here. And now you're gone. It's gone. So if I go like frame by frame, you lost a lot of detail on your roto, and that is just not going to work. Obviously, I'm zooming in like 400% now. I need to like go a bit faster to the back here. So let's just go here. Yeah, you see, where is all this detail? So you see this line there, that line, this line, that line, all these lines from the actual boat, you've just removed on your roto, and that's not good. So you see, they're all removed. So you're missing multiple pieces of your roto in the scene, so just be careful with that. But yeah, Pierre, it is a nice showreel though, and I hope this helped you as much as much as it helped other people as well in the chat. I really hope it did. We've been running for quite a long time, so I'm gonna do another break, okay? So don't forget that we always want to kind of have like breaks once in a while, every 45 minutes. Please promise me that you're going to like basically stretch your legs, and you're going to walk a little bit on the room, get some water, maybe even rest your eyes for a little bit, okay? So please promise me that you'll do that. And so I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We have 92 people watching. Hope we can get to 100 at some point. So we'll be right back, and stretch your legs, and I'll see you very soon. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. I have so many questions here and so many showreels. You guys don't even imagine. You guys and girls don't even imagine the amount of people that have sent Reels. I was really underestimating the fact that I haven't done a stream in 6 months. So I think it's wiser for me to put a poll up. So I've never done a poll on Twitch, but I'm going to put up a poll on Twitch, and it's going to be a poll with 4 questions. If we're going to do, what should we do now next? If I should do more compositing, if I should do more showreel reviews, if I should play Doom or play another game. So I just wanted you to answer. We have about 10 minutes. I'm going to start the poll now. And yeah, that's it. So let's just put the poll. I've put a poll up on the stream. Do you see the poll? I hope so. Can you see the poll? Let me know if you see it, because I've never done a poll on Twitch, and I just activated it, but I have no idea if you can see it or not. Can you see it? No? Okay. Because people are voting. I can see people voting. So see if you can see it, because I can see a lot of people voting. Nothing. Okay. A lot of people said yeah. Some people say yes, some people say no. That's great. So it's above the chat. Okay, so you need to go above the chat and see if it's there. Right now, I'm gonna put it on the screen, because it's 2 minutes voting, guys. Come on, it's 2 minutes only. We only have 2 minutes to vote, so I'm gonna just put it up so you can see the chat voting. So I'm gonna just show you, and then we can kind of see the voting result. So I'm gonna just put the vote
direction
here.
just caused them to lose the back end. So it's unfortunate.
So that's the vote right now. So we still have about a minute left to go. So as you can see, compositing is 30%, more showreel reviews 61%, and play Doom is only 3%, and play Resident Evil demo is only 3%. So come on, only 2 minutes left. Come on. Let's see who wins. I think it's up neck and neck there. It's 63% to 31. It looks like we're watching a horse race. And now we're compositing. 10 people on compositing, and 20 people on showreels, and 1 person in Doom, and 1 person in Resident Evil. I know who it is on Doom, though. I'm pretty sure it would have been Sajals, most likely. I should have voted as well, of course. I should have done that. But I think we're almost done. So guys, last 20 seconds if you want to vote. Last 20 seconds if you still want to vote. There's so many reels you don't even imagine. Okay, I think the vote is now gone. Okay, cool. So more showreels as one. We had 20 people voting for showreels, 60%. I feel like not a lot of you voted, because we have like 87 people online, and only like 50 people voted. So I think a lot of you didn't vote. But as you can see, watching more showreels won quite a lot, and less compositing. But I still want to kind of make it that it's both. If you don't mind, I would like to do some comping, because I know a lot of you are coming here for the compositing as well. So I'm sorry about this, because it's been so difficult today, because we've been having so many people posting questions and so many people posting stuff online here. I don't think I've had this for a while now. So yeah, I am sorry for this. But anyway, I'm going to basically yeah. So you see, we only had 12. Yeah, I see. We only had 20 votes. 12 votes, 3. Well, doesn't matter. Okay, cool. Well, anyway, I still want to do the comp though. So let's do a little bit of a comp, just a little bit, and then we can do another showreel review. Okay, and then we do a bunch of showreels reviews in a row. They take a while, they take a long time. But I guess I was gonna expect this, I'm sure. So I know this is gonna be a bit of a hit and miss, because you're gonna be watching this review, this replay, and you're gonna be watching pieces and pieces. But bear with me, okay? And if you get too bored, just let me know, and I'll move away from this. So, gonna do maybe like 10 minutes of comp here, so that we can move on to showreel reviews. So, CG-wise, we need to kind of start thinking about how we're gonna comp this. And to comp this, we would need, obviously, to start rebuilding this beauty. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna just do a pre-comp. So the first thing I'll ever do on comping is I just pick up the beauty, and I pick up the plate, and I comp them together. And this is what we call on the industry an A over B. So A would go to the monster, B would go to the plate, and this is just like a pre-comp, okay? This is just so that the CG artist can check if this is working, and this is just A over B. So really simple comp, just to double check so that everyone knows what's going on, everyone knows how it works. And as you can see, we already have one problem because obviously the monster is too tiny. The reason why he's too tiny, and that is the first problem we have to fix, is because the footage is 4K, okay? So the footage is 4K and the CG is 2.5K. And the reason we did that was because 4 years ago, making 4K was a bit tricky, okay? So we kind of thought, okay, let's not do 4K because it's going to take forever. So that means that you need to kind of either reformat the footage or you need to reformat the beauty. That's one of the decisions. Obviously, in this situation, I might just reformat the footage for now. I'll decide later on if I'm going to do the other way around, but I'm going to reformat the footage. Now, the other thing as well is this is the format of our project. So I'm going to set my project settings, okay? So first of all, I know my CG starts on 1001 and it ends at 160. So, and also the resolution would be 2560 by 1382. And that's the resolution of the CG. I'm going to work on that resolution for the moment. So I'm going to see if I can find that resolution. If not, I have to write it by myself. But yeah, there we go. There it is. So now this is my settings. I'm going to lock the range here. And because I've done this, these settings here, he looks good. He looks good when he's shorter. Yeah, he's like a really short monster. I don't think he would look very scary if he would be that big. He would be like, oh, what are you doing, little man? What do you want, little man? I don't think it works very well when it's tiny like that. Let's have a look. I don't think it looks that tiny. It looks ridiculous. It looks absolutely ridiculous. It looks just like the least scary thing in the world. It's like, oh my God, I'm so scared by this little boy. Okay, let's put the reformat back. That's better. So that's the first thing we need to check. We just need to check our comp, see if it works, see if the light is matching, see if everything is matching, where do we have our problems, and just start to kind of like work our way in. By the way, I wanted to ask someone on the chat here about this. So I don't know if this worked because this is the first time I've been streaming for months. But there's a button here that I can press and it does an ad commercial in the middle of the break. Did anyone see a commercial during the break? Did actually someone saw a commercial? I just wanted to check because I obviously cannot see the stream because I'm not watching the stream. I'm doing the stream. But did anyone watch a commercial while we were doing the ad break? I'm just curious if it actually worked. If it actually showed up a commercial. No? No commercial. Okay. Well, that's not good. Then I guess it doesn't work. That's not good at all. I thought it did work. Okay. So no one saw a commercial. That's fantastic. That's just great. I guess then it doesn't work to put commercials because I thought it did. I thought it was easy to do. I need to like research it then, I guess, and see how that works. Yeah, the flashlight. Yeah, it does. Like this CG looks really nice, man. I think people they did so good. You know, like I really think they did so good. Let's see here. Yeah, not really sure what happened there. The commercial should have worked. I don't know. I'll try another one. Oh, okay. Yes, some people. Oh, the ad blocker. Okay, some people have said yes. Okay, great. Okay, I just wanted to check because. Oh yeah. So anyway, let's start comping this a little bit. So now we have an A over B, and the A over B, of course, is just like it already looks really good, you know, but it kind of needs more work. You know, you kind of need the flickering of the light. You need to kind of like fix some of these issues with the grain. You also need to fix some issues, and also, of course, I think it could have a bit more dramatic lighting as well. So I'm going to fix those things as well. So let's start by rebuilding this shader first, and then we work from there. And we're going to rebuild the shader a little bit now, and then we're going to jump into a showreel. So the first thing we need to do is, we're going to have the raw passes. So I'm going to start building my shader now. To build my shader, I need my diffuse, and I need to kind of find my raw light. So I'm going to start by my raw light and my raw GI. So The raw means that it's actually without color because the color is part of the diffuse, okay? So I'm going to start by putting, and this is, I've already talked about this many times, but there's only two types. Yeah, I guess it would be called a slap comp as well. It's not just a pre-comp, it's actually a slap comp. That's a good point. Let me call it a slap comp because we're slapping away this thing. Slap comp. That's a good point. Thank you so much for saying that. Let's just, it has those three names, I guess. So it doesn't really matter. So, wow, we have 91 people watching. This must be like one of the records for my stream for beginning. So, okay, so the way we work with raw is that we need to make sure there's only two ways of doing CG compositing. We either do a plus or we do a multiply, okay? That's the only two methodologies to actually comp the CG. So that means that plus would be for any CG render that would be basically just the beauty and no raw. And then you have multiply, which is when you have raw passes. So I'm going to start by doing the raw. And in this situation, I'm going to basically comp my raw diffuse by my raw light, my raw GI by my diffuse. And that will give me the actual diffuse light with the GI. So this is now the diffuse GI, the diffuse global illumination. So as you can see, we have color information and we also have light information. Now to do the same, we'll organize this a bit better later on, but do the same for the light, which is just the light direction. We'll do the same as well. But it has to also be a multiply. So if I do a multiply here, so now I had the diffuse, which is just the color, and now I have all the lights together. And now if I do that, now I have all the lights. Now, obviously, this is not all the lights because we've separated other lights as well. So this is just the beginning of the light. So now we have these two, and now I would have to merge and plus together the GI together with my light. So this is now just my first pass of lighting. It has no subsurface scattering. It has no reflections. It has no specularity. And it has also none of the extra lights we've added into the scene, okay? So this is just like the simple lights of the shot. So that's why. Sid80 is saying, man has a side light blue, but the CG character is not having that. Yeah, it would definitely use that. We can fake one, for sure. We can definitely fake one, so that's not a problem. Now that we've built like the main parts of lights, now we need to start building the rest. So before we go into all these extra lights we have here, let's start building just the, and also don't forget that we have the GI and the light here as well, and they are the same, okay? So like we did before, don't forget that the combination of multiplication of diffuse, when you multiply the diffuse by the raw GI, you get the GI, and as you can see, they both match here. So either the render, because on V-Ray you can choose to have raw passes, or you can have regular passes which are already pre-baked, or as I say, pre-multiplied. So this is what this is. Like you have the lights together with the diffuse, multiply, and then of course we have just the lights as well. So obviously these two, this one and this one, doesn't need to be here. They don't exist. They're not necessary for the moment. Now, before we go into all these lights, because we do have extra lights here, as you can see, we have all these extra lights. I'm going to go and get my reflections because that's going to be a more straightforward thing to put in here. So now, right now, I'm going to just basically put a little backdrop here. I just want to start by putting a backdrop for the GI. So that's going to be the GI. I shouldn't do the backdrop yet because I'm probably going to comp this in a different way. So we need to kind of like look into that because I need to get the alpha channel. That's the other thing. We need to like do all the pre-multiplication and then pre-multiplication as well. So I might not do that just yet. I might do it later. So now in here, we have the reflection. We also have the specular. We have the reflection filter. Now, unfortunately, we do not have the raw reflection. So this was a mistake done by my students because the reflection filter is only useful if I actually have the raw reflections, and I don't have that. So I can delete the reflection filter because I don't need it. Now, when I'm adding reflections, I'm just going to do a plus in here. And now what I'm doing here is I would say I'm just doing a quick slap comp with all my passes, okay? So I'm not really like doing proper comping yet. I'm just like slap comping them together just to see what works and just basically organize my script. So you see, I start with lighting, now I put like my reflections, and now I put my speculars, and also I'm starting to build up this character step by step. I also have my shadow, my subsurface scattering here, which is also working. So I'm gonna just get this in here and then put that in up here. So that would be the subsurface scattering, which would of course bring a lot of detail into it. So, and if you watch the actual beauty, if I bring in the beauty, you see that we have probably a very close match. Actually, it's a full match right now. So you see now that's the rebuild, and that's the beauty, and they match perfectly. So this would be like just enough for you to comp. You would have diffuse with raw GI, diffuse with raw light, and then you would have specular and reflections and subsurface scattering, and that would comp the majority of the AUVs of your shot, you know. So Mandeep, the stream will come back in a couple of days. I would assume I probably will do it late in the week. So you need to kind of wait for later in the week that we would do it, you know. The stream won't be as long as it is right now, but don't forget that you can watch this stream, because I have left it open for anyone, even if you're not subscribed, to be able to watch it, okay? But don't forget that I would much appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel, because it really helps my channel to grow. It helps me financially, and it helps me to keep YouTube and Twitch on, you know. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Any pound would help in this situation. Now, Lenny says Lenny is going to get back very soon. So thank you so much, Lenny, for all the help. And have a nice dinner. I hope you have a nice dinner. And thank you so much for all the help right now, Lenny. Really appreciate it. So this is the pre-comp of all the passes. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell are we going to do with all of this stuff? So because we have like all the lights here, and we have also like the shadow. So first of all, the shadow is a bit tricky, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So the shadow is not very easy to deal with in V-Ray. So in the shadow, usually has to be put together with the actual lights. So the way that this works is that you would have to comp in the shadow on top of your lights, because the shadow pass is nothing more than the invert of where the shadows are. You see that? So it's basically just like an invert. So if you would have put like a plus operation here, and you would have comped it on top of your light, you would be able to recover some of the shadow. So you see here, I'm going to just keep this thing here. So you see here, this would allow you to basically figure out how to, this is total shadow, and this is of course no shadow. But that's not completely true, because you still see shadows, and it looks a bit fake at the moment here, but at least it removes some of the shadow. Sebastian, thank you so much for resubscribing. Sebastian has been a subscriber of my channel for 10 months now. Thank you so much. Another person that I will have to make a new label once you reach 12 months. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for subscribing. We've been online for 2 hours. I'm getting pretty tired, and this has been quite intense these 2 hours. But yeah, as you can see here, this is kind of like the shadow pass, which allows you to bring back some of the shadow, and this would have to specifically be placed on the light pass. Reason for that is because you don't want to include shadows on top of reflections. You don't want to include shadows on top of everything, because if you do that, it's going to break the image. So if I do that, like if I put it on the very bottom here, I would break my reflections. So you see, that's not going to work. And if you look in here, you see that's just going to break too much the reflections as well. And the reflection shouldn't really be affected by shadows. Now, obviously, it depends on the shot. I've had situations where I had to put it back, but I'm going to only keep it here because I'm just kind of showing you where it should be placed. We're not using it yet. The other thing as well is all these lights. So now all these lights are just like, as the word says, just lights, and they're direct lights. Now, some of them have color, and some of them have no color, and none of them have actual diffuse, you know. So I'm going to start by having them logically together. So let's think about the torches to be together. We'll have first the fill lights. So I have the fill light, And then I'm going to comp in my torch, and then I'm going to comp in my flashlight, which is the most important light here anyway. And now all these lights would have to be merged on a plus. These are when you actually do raw, like you basically do V-Ray lights, which would be when you separate all the lights. So if I do that, let's see here, I go here. I would do that, and then I would put another plus, and I would just keep posting this one by one. I know this is incredibly exciting. Incredibly exciting. And let's see here. So that would be all my lights. So obviously it looks a bit too strong because we have our, basically we have our fill light, we have our other fill light, and that get placed together. And then we have our torchlight, and we have your other torchlight, and then we have our flashlight. Now, obviously, this is too much light, because if you look at the other light we had, the light actually looks different, because one light we're missing here is we're missing the ambient light. And as you can see, there was an HDR lighting going on, which is missing on our main light. And that's because we're missing the light, and that's going to be a bit tricky, because that means that I would have to actually, this was a mistake from my students, like I would actually have to minus this to have that light. So I would have to go in here. I would have to minus each other here. If I do a minus, and I know I'm going a bit ahead of myself, but if I do a minus together here, I basically get the leftover light that was missing from the shot, which I would need to comp it. But I'm not really going to do that. I'm just going to show, I'm just showing you that we're missing one of the lights. And so this is never really going to match perfectly because we're missing that light. But this is like, you know, this is like, obviously I'm getting very much ahead of myself. And this is like really advanced compositing in CG right now that I'm already starting doing. So I do appreciate that it is getting a bit hairy right now, but you just need to beware with me. I am getting a bit tired, so anyway, but we'll do a break soon. But let's now, we've done a bit of comping, we've rebuilt this. I'm just going to do a little bit of a recap. Basically what we did here was we had a diffuse, which we multiplied by the raw GI. Also had the diffuse, which we multiplied by the raw light. That together, the two lights, now we have the global illumination light and the regular lights, and we've plus them together. Then we plus the reflections, then we plus the speculars, and then we plus the subsurface scattering. And that, my friends, matches our beauty, which is this. We've also talked about how the shadow can be merged as a plus on the light pass, and then we are now trying to comp in all the individual lights of V-Ray that we have here, okay? So this is where we are right now. We're going to get back to this a bit later. So I'm going to now, because the voting was mostly about showreels and everything, I'm going to go back into the questions here. I'm going to do a really quick round of questions, okay? And so let's do a quick round of questions, and then we're going to jump into another showreel. There's no way I'm going to be able to do all the showreels. I hope you understand that, because we did get, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 12 showreels. It's way too much. Like, I can't really do all of this today. It's nuts how many showreels I got. So I'm going to basically do them next time we do the stream, because, you know, I'm not going to do all of them now. Let's just go back to the questions so we can wrap up some of the questions here. Let's see, where were we? Questions here. I want to apologize to everyone that I was on the stream. I'm really sorry that this stream was a bit of a chaotic stream. I know I bounced from Nuke, and I bounced to the showreels, and I bounced to the questions, but I haven't done a stream in 6 months. I was super excited to do the stream. I am super excited to share all of these things with you, because obviously I know you're all suffering at home, and you're all like very worried with the pandemic, and that's why I wanted to do the stream. So I do apologize that it's been so chaotic. I am so sorry for that. I'm sure it's going to get better later on. And don't forget that you can always rewatch the stream, even if you're not subscribed, okay? I have opened it for free to everyone, even if you're not subscribed, just because I want everyone to have the chance to learn more if you can't afford my course, you know? So I am sorry for all this jumping around. I'm trying my best, but it's like bouncing around, and I still haven't even put the helmet. Like, do you guys want me to put the Doom helmet? You should watch my Doom helmet. It would be nice. I would really want to put it in so you guys can see it. Should I put it in? Should I use my Doom helmet for a second and answer one question with my Doom helmet? Should I do that? Would be a nice frame. Come on. Say that you want to see it. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to get it just for a second. Let me just go and get it. Okay, so here we go. So this is the helmet. I'm going to just remove the chat just for a second because it's taking too much space to chat. So you can see the helmet a bit better. So this is the helmet here. And as you can see, it's a full functioning helmet from Doom. It's an actual replica of the Doom helmet, which is quite cool. It came with a special edition of Doom. I'm going to show you the special edition box because it's fucking huge. This is the special edition box of Doom. So as you can see, it's quite big. And it had all this stuff inside. It had like the special edition. It had like some soundtracks, and that's the box. The game is awesome, by the way. The game is really cool. And this thing here, you can actually open this up here in the front. And you have a little light here. There you go. It has some lights. And as you can see... Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to break it. There you go. And as you can see, if I switch my lights off real quick, you can kind of see that it has like some really cool lights. I'm going to switch my lights off. As you can see, it's pretty cool. It has like these lights. I'm going to put the helmet on. Let me just take my headphones off. Okay, cool. So, just going to put the lights back on because we need to see it. Now, here's the thing. I can hardly, it's really sweaty inside here. Can you still hear me? Because I can't read the text now. Can you still hear me? I hope you can still hear me. Look at that. Can you still hear me? Can you let me know if you can still hear me even without the... Turn the lights off, stream. Cut. Oh, shit. Okay, you can still hear me? Okay, cool. So, let's answer this question. So, let's see a question here. Okay, so Diogo Sampaio asks, how do people start learning expensive programs like Nuke? I mean, they have a free version, but with all the limitations, you think it's enough to apply to a studio with those limitations? Oh, pump up the sound. I can hear the Doom. Okay. Pump up the sound. Okay. Can you hear correctly? I hope you can hear it. Hello there. Here's the sound. Pump up the sound. Okay. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, this is going to be a meme, I'm sure, because now I have a Van Damme t-shirt and I have a Doom helmet. This is going to be pretty strange, I think, for most people. So as I said, I don't think there's any limitations in Nuke. You know, what you need to understand, it's very low. Okay, you can hear now? Okay. I'm going to just put higher than the sound and see if you can hear it now. So basically, what you need to understand is that the limitations are not there. So if you use the commercial license, you then have limitations. You'd have a lot of nodes in Nuke. Yeah, guys, I'm really fogging up, so I need to like remove this helmet. Otherwise, I won't be able to answer this question. So, so it's loud enough. Okay, you guys say it's loud enough. The sound might be too low. I can't put it higher, guys. You guys are complaining about the sound being too low, but I can't really put it any higher. So let's try it again. So, like I said, the limitations of Nuke, the problem is that the Keylight and Primat have their own their own IP, so the Foundry can't give them away. So what I would recommend you to do is to actually get the academical version, you know, because the academical version, it's low. Yeah, well, it's maxed out. I can't really put it any higher. So I think maybe I can do with this, you know. What about now? Can you hear it better now? Maybe you can hear it better now because I put it near my thing. Can you hear better now? Is it better, the sound? Can you hear it? 1, 2, 2, testing, 1, 2, 2, testing, 1, 2, 2. Can't even focus what I'm saying. Yes, it's better. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that Nuke's non-commercial, unfortunately, they can't really give you Keylight, they can't give you Primat, and they have some limitations with Python because they would have to pay for those licenses, and that's why. Because unfortunately, licensing agreements with other softwares is a problem. So that's why they can't give that away. But you should really look into the new offer the Foundry has for academical licenses. So for example, if you're in a school, you could get Nuke for free if you have a school academical email. Or if you want, you could basically join my Kickstarter course, and then you can also get a Nuke license through me, because I have a deal with the Foundry that they give me licenses of Nuke through the course, like if it was a school. The other way you can do it is that, I don't know if you noticed, but the Foundry has offered 30 days trial to everyone. That means that everyone right now that has used Nuke for 30 days, all the trials have been resetted, so you can actually install them again. Okay? Cool, that's it. So I'm going to take the helmet now because I feel ridiculous, and I'm really sweaty right now, and I'm all fogged up. I can't even see the screen. I can't even read the text anymore, and I just feel really stupid now. And here we go. I'm going to take this thing off, okay? But I appreciate it, huh? It was nice. God damn, this was it's really, really hot inside there. So I need to like lower the mic now because the mic is going to be too high now. Well, I'm pretty sure that did you understand my answer then? Did it work for you in terms of answering? Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to switch off the lights because otherwise I'm going to run out of battery. I could try to play Doom with this thing, but I don't think it would work because this thing is really warm and it's really, really hard to talk inside this thing. Jesus Christ. I think I need to put a mic inside. You know, that would be nice. If I put a microphone inside, that would have been really cool. Maybe I should do that. Let me just get my microphone here. Hope you've enjoyed this wonderful thing. My hair is all broken now, and I'm all sweaty now as well. But I think it's fine. Is that yes, I should put a fan inside. Yes, for sure. I'm going to put the chat back on. Sorry about that. I had to switch it off so you could see it. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. That was the silliest way of answering a question for sure, I'm sure. Hugo, keep the helmet. It makes it more futuristic. Yes, that's true. It could keep it more... It would be like quite strange if I keep the helmet. Should I should put a microphone inside once, and I should actually do a full stream with the helmet. One thing you guys don't know is that I have the helmet for the Fallout as well. So I have both the helmet and also like the little device on the arm. So I could alternate between the Fallout helmet and the Doom Guy helmet, but I think the Doom Guy helmet is cooler. So, okay, going back to the questions again. So Diogo asked that question. Let's now go back. I'm gonna do one more showreel. Don't worry. I'm gonna see if there's more questions. Okay, so Dwarf Marine, that is a wonderful name. Dwarf Marine says, what are the pros and cons to have separate render passes versus one multipass EXR? That is an excellent question. And to answer that question, I'm going to jump into Nuke and give you guys the tip of the day, okay? So this is going to be the tip of the day. We used to do this on streams before, and it was very, very useful. So I'm going to show you the tip of the day here by showcasing two different comps. So I'm going to open up the other comp as well to show you this. It's a huge difference between the EXR and not EXR altogether. The new course is online right now. I was just talking about that if you just arrived. The new course is 13 days to go. So if you want to sign up to the course, I have made it half price now. So the course is now half price. And the course is also there's no limits on early birds because of the pandemic. I've decided to strip away all limitations because we used to have a limit of 25 students for the early bird. I removed the limit. There's no limit now, so you can sign up right now. And also, even if you sign up just for the basic, you can always upgrade at any time to the full later on. So don't worry about that. Okay. So answering your question about the speed of this thing, I'm going to show you what happens when you have a full CG render, which is multi-pass EXR, versus a CG render that is not. So this render here, which I'm going to put to full screen, and I'm going to leave it at 50%, okay? So, no, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to put full frame. I'm going to put 100% here, and I'm going to go into the other comp, and I'm going to do the same with the beauty, with this one. So, also going to put that thing there, and I'm going to put this to 100% as well, and I'm going to play back this. So this render is only the RGB, okay? So there's no passes on this. So all the EXRs are all separate as files, okay? And then the other render is all the EXRs are all inside the actual EXR. So you see I have the subsurface scattering, I have the key light, I have the lighting, I have the matte reflection, I have the reflection, the rim lights, the shadows. Everything is inside one single EXR. So the difference being that I'm going to now try to cache 100 frames. So let's do 100. So let's do 100, and I'm going to put O here. And then let's go into the other one here, and let's do 100 as well. So let's do 100 here and go back here. So one of the things you need to understand is that on this one, if I go in here to my frames, you see this sequence. If I don't put sequence, don't forget, this is the tip of the month, okay, the tip of the day, okay? So you see each EXR here has 45 megs, you see? Why do they have 45 megs? The reason for that is because each of the EXRs has all these passes built in together, okay? So it's really large because of that. So it's like full of EXRs and passes inside. And that's why it's 45 megs. So now if I look at the other render, if I look at this guy here, which is this one, if I look at this guy, you see each of the passes are actually all separated, and everything is between 900 kilobytes, 4 megs, 2 megs, 4 megs, 2 megs, 800 kilobytes. And in fact, if you look at the actual beauty, if I look at the beauty pass, is actually it actually goes all the way from 3 megs to 4 megs. So as you can see, it's like 10 times smaller. So if you need to understand is that if you're working on a network, picking up files of 4 megs is really fast because the networks are really quick picking up small files. But if you're in a network environment where you have to pick up files of 48 megs, it's going to take a lot longer. And especially if you're in a network that has only 100 megs per second, then basically you alone already are picking up half of the bandwidth of everyone else, okay? As opposed to if you're working on this file on a 100 meg connection, you're only picking up about 4% of the connection. That means you can have dozens of people working on that connection, and you're not hogging the internet all for yourself. Are you all with me? I hope you are. And now let me show you what happens if I try to play it back. This is not just a network issue. It's also a playback issue as well when you're trying to play back or you're trying to preview it. So let me just clear all my cache and everything here. So I'm just going to clear the cache so that everything gets flushed and I can just play this back. Now, check how long it takes for us to play back about 100 frames. So if I press play here, I can actually make a counter here. Let's just do a cache and clear all. I'm going to put a counter in here. You're saying it's a great explanation? Of course, it's a great explanation. I'm sorry, didn't feel like I'm glad you think that. So I'm gonna put a counter here and I'm gonna press play. Okay, so this is 100 frames of multipass EXR, and I'm gonna at 48 megs per second. I'm gonna press play, and that was already cached. How do I get rid of that cache? Sorry, I just need to like make sure I clear all the buffers, all the disk cache, all the playback cache, all the blink. Everything needs to be cleared. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start my counter now, and I'm going to play this back. And as you can see, it takes it's doing about 2.5 frames per second of playback. It's reaching now 3 frames per second because it's reading these 48 megs per second EXRs, okay? So it is taking a substantial amount of time to do this playback. Like, it's already like taking this much amount of time. So already taking 24 seconds. It's probably going to take close to 30 by the time I'm over. So now it's going to play back in real time just for this frame. And now you see 45 seconds it took to play back that clip, which is 48 megs per frame because of all the EXRs, right? So this is a substantial slow EXR. Now, if I go to the other comp, and remember, this comp here is only 4 megs per sec, and I'm also previewing 100, but now remember, I need to make sure I preview 100 with rendering. So I'm going to preview 100 from here, from actually, let's see here, from 60. Because remember, the black doesn't matter because it's too fast. So I'm going to do it from here all the way to the end. So we do 100 frames as well, just like we did. So this is now 100 frames. And I'm going to also put this, like I did on the other one, I'm going to put this to 100%. And I'm going to flush all the cache, okay? So I'm clearing all the cache. And also I'm clicking in this button here, the full frame processing. So just like I did on the other one, I'm putting full frame processing on both, okay? So I'm going to do I'm going to reset this timer. It was 35 seconds before. I'm going to start the timer now. And this is how long it took to play back this clip. So it ran basically at 70 frames per second, and it took 6 seconds. So you see, the EXR with just one pass took about 6 seconds. Versus 36 seconds that it took with all the passes. So you see, the biggest issue with this is not just the network issue, but it's also the problem of your machine. So if you have a hard drive that is not fast enough, like if you're comping onto a hard drive that is USB 3 or it only has 100 megs, then you're gonna have a problem. You see, that's the issue. So that's why most companies use separate EXRs, because it's so much more efficient working this way. Because Nuke, when it's playing back all of this, when it's trying to play back all of this, it's basically caching what it needs, and it picks up what it needs. You see, I can play back this comp at 10 frames per second pretty much. Obviously, don't forget that I have a very extreme machine, okay? Just to give you an idea of how extreme it is, I have a Mac Pro 2019. This is the 28-core version of the Mac Pro 2019. So it's a 28-core machine with 288 gigs of RAM. And I have 2 Radeon 7s. So I have 2 graphic cards, 2 Radeon 7s, not just one. And obviously, if I try to cache, I have a solid-state RAID system with 4 M2 drives. So if I, for example, go into my caching network, caching RAID, which is my RAID, which is 4 M2 blades. If I try to cache it, you see I'm getting around 7,000 megs a sec and around 8,000 megs a sec on read and write. So obviously I have a very extreme machine, and that's why it plays back so quick. But if you were running this on a regular hard drive, so for example, if I was running on my desktop, for example, now my desktop is not rated. My desktop is just the regular solid state from Apple. If I go to my desktop, then I only get 3,000 megs a sec of read and 3,000 megs a sec of write. That's, of course, much slower. It's half the speed. And then if I go into my this thing, because I didn't show you this thing here, you see, that's a LASC 12 big. That's a RAID system with 12 hard drives. This thing here would be my media center, which is 48 terabytes. and that one is even slower. So this one does about 1,000 megs, and it might do 1,800. So the important thing to think about here is you need to look at your infrastructure. You need to look at how fast can you actually run your network. You need to use, for example, if I do a network location, let me, for example, do my machine. This machine, the render one, is connected through 100 gigabit. So if I do a speed test on this one, I'm only getting 94 megs a sec. So you see, this is a network drive. So this is a network machine. So obviously the problem here is that if I was running that EXR with 48 megs, the problem was that it wouldn't even be able to read two of them. So if I had two EXRs, if I had two artists, or if I had two EXRs of multipass EXR, I would clog my network, Obviously, the other alternative is to use gigabit internet. So, for example, I have another machine which is connected through 10 gig Ethernet. And if I do that one, then I can reach about 200 megs of write, and I can read about, I think it was 300, of read. Write is about 250. Depends. And I think read is, of course, it's a bit slow right now because I'm doing the stream. I'm downloading and uploading a lot of things. So that's the thing here. I hope that answered your question. I know it took a long time for me to answer, but I hope that answered the question. That ends the tip of the day, okay? So that was the tip of the day for today. So always never forget to look into your infrastructure. Look at the speed of your network. Look at the speed of your hard drive. Look at the speed of where you're having your hard drive to cache. Look at the speed of what the speed is, the hard drive of your OS, of your operating system and everything, okay? So that I hope that helped your question. So let's do another question before we do a break. Let's see here. Where was I? So Wenk, the WEKN, Wenk, I guess. I don't really know how to pronounce your name. Is this model based with motion capture? No, it's not. So the model that you see on this comp that I'm comping, this monster that you see, is hand animated. So it was done by my talented students. They're really good animators, and they did the animation by hand pretty much. So congratulations to them. They did a great job. This was the tip of the day. Yeah, it was. You see, it was worth being here. So, so maybe if you think it was a really good tip, why don't you become a subscriber? Maybe you could become a subscriber. Maybe you could become a Patreon, and then you can help my channel. Other questions here I have a question from Mirko Torn. I've done some scripting in Nuke, and I have some tasks those scripts help me with. How do I show that on my demo reel when I shouldn't show the Nuke interface? Well, that is an excellent question. I would say, Mirko Tornau, that if you are a TD, if you're basically doing a lot of scripting, you should actually write that on the CV, and you should write that on your cover letter. You don't need to show it on your showreel, except if you are applying for a TD position, okay? Because if you're just applying as a compositor, you should not need to show that. You should only show that on your CV or in your cover letter. Now, if you're applying for a TD position, of course, then you should put only TD, and you could show the interface. That is a different type of showreel, okay? So obviously that is different from what I'm suggesting here. So I hope that answered your question. Can I suggest, someone is asking here, I don't know who it was. Can I suggest to ask before reviewing a reel if the person is still online? Some people might have left before you reach their reel. That's fine. I can do that for sure. The next reel, I will ask first if they're still here. Lenny says, can people send showreel that are not compositing motion graphics? Yeah, of course. Anyone can send a showreel for CG. They can send a showreel for animation. They can send a showreel for FX or for anything else. I am very eclectic on this. I have reviewed showreels on my career for everyone, so I can definitely help you with those. So Merco Tor now asks again, hi, Usedesk. You can also go frame by frame on Vimeo when you do shift. Yeah, it doesn't work on a Mac, so I've tried that. It doesn't work on a Mac. You can't go backwards. You can only go forwards, so that doesn't really work. Another question here I have from Taragon CG asks, Hugo, Look Development sends the AOVs, or is this the lighting team that sends you the AOVs? Trying to understand the pipeline. So it's actually neither of them. So what happens is Look Development is before. So Look Development is actually before you actually start comping. And who sends you the AOVs is the lighting artist or the render artist. So basically anyone in CG that is finalizing the shots will give you the AOVs. Look Development is a bit earlier in the development because that's when it's still being developed just with CG people. When you're doing Look Development, usually compositing is not involved because the CG artists would be comping themselves the shots, you know. I have another question here from Razput. Razput says, what skills would you recommend for a junior match move artist to know? That's a really good question. So a junior match move artist really needs to showcase different situations of match move. So, for example, you should showcase a handheld camera so that you can show that you can match move something very difficult that has a lot of bumps and a lot of things like that. So that would be a camera handheld. Other things you should showcase, you should showcase object match move. So that means, for example, if I'm picking up this can, you should try to show me that you can actually match move this movement of the can perfectly. Not just the camera move, but also the can movement. The other thing you should try to have on your match move reel is to actually have rotomation. Rotomation would be the fact that, for example, if you want to track this hand, you would have to build a rig and a hand in CG and then match frame by frame all the movement of your hands and fingers, okay? So that's what you also would have to have on your show reel. I think that would be enough to start with a really good... If you have all those on your reel, you'll be fine. You're going to have a very good chance of getting a job. And then last question, and this is going to be the last question for today because I don't think we can do any more questions. So the last question for today would be Udini Yadini. I love that name. So Udini Yadini is asking. We could probably do a couple of more questions, but I just wanted to try to minimize the amount of time that I'm just going to be talking to the camera because I know how boring it is to just see a guy talk to the camera. So Udini Yadini asks, do you think it's rational to learn compositing effects at the same time, or should I focus on one thing? That's a tricky question because, of course, effects is one thing, compositing is another. They're two completely different things. They're on two different pipelines. They also are on different departments on the company. And it's really complicated to learn effects and really complicated to learn compositing. I would recommend you to focus in one and then maybe learn basics on the other. So if you want to be effects artist, maybe learn compositing basics and just focus in effects. And if you want to be a compositor, focus in really deep learning compositing and then focus on just having a little understanding of effects. You could try to combine both by doing this. This is something I need to show you. So if you want, you could look into this. It's called... now just out of my head I forgot. So effects for Nuke. There's a plugin that does effects in Nuke, and now I forgot the name. Because of course I did. What is the name of that plugin? Someone on the chat can help me here with this. For someone, and there are people asking on the chat, when is my next stream? My next stream will probably be midweek. It won't be next Sunday. It'll probably be midweek. But I will announce on my social media. So if you follow my social media, if you follow me on Twitch, you will see the announcements. Everyone will know. Can anyone help me? What is the name of the plugin that does effects inside of Nuke? I cannot remember. Oh, Eddie, that's right. Eddie for Nuke, that's right. So, so if you want to learn effects and compositing, I would recommend you looking into Eddie for Nuke. So Eddie for Nuke is an amazing plugin used by Veta and used by pretty much every visual effects company in the world right now. And it does stuff like this. You can literally do simulations, effects, fire, particles, water, everything inside of Nuke, directly inside of Nuke. So you should really look into it. You can even do clouds, you can do simulations, and most of the most of these particles on Avengers, for example, these particles were done with Eddie inside of Nuke directly. So you should look into this article from Veta Digital's Avengers Infinity War. Eddie is a very, very powerful way of doing very advanced effects directly inside of Nuke, so that the compositors can do that. So for example, here you can actually integrate these kind of effects without having to go to CG. So maybe start looking into that. It is really powerful. Cool. So that's it. It's not cheap. No, it's not cheap. But Eddie, the advantage of Eddie is that it's directly inside of Nuke. You don't have to like render out, so that's why. Okay, so let's do a break because we've been talking and talking and talking. Let's do a quick break, and I'll be right back. So don't go anywhere. We're going to do a quick break, and then we're going to wrap up the stream in the next 10, 20 minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up with some showreels, okay? So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Please don't go anywhere because I still have a couple of more announcements. I have something very special to announce that everyone is going to want to hear, okay? I have a surprise for you. I have a surprise announcement to say. And I really want you to not leave because I want you to hear this surprise announcement because it's quite big. It's quite nice. So I'll be right back, okay? Don't go anywhere, and please stretch your legs and get some water, okay? Okay, so I'm back. I'm back. Thank you so much, Sajals, for the wonderful image. Sajals has posted on the... He posted this on Discord. I think this is going to be my new profile image. Could be good for me to use as a profile image. Thanks so much for that. Okay, so I'm back, and I completely forgot to do the ad break. So I'm going to do it now, I guess. So I'm not even sure if it works, but I'm going to give it a go. So... maybe you see an ad. I don't know. I am still figuring out how this works inside of Twitch here. So, okay. So, some people here are asking or saying, I just hope he picks my stuff. You're talking about the showreel, I guess. Are you talking about the showreel? You didn't post? Oh, okay. You can post it. It's fine. You can post it. Oh, you posted. Oh, it wasn't you. Sorry. It was Tommaso. I'm so sorry. I thought it was Sajals. I am so sorry. It was Tommaso. Thank you so much, Tommaso, for posting that. That was Tommaso that posted. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Tommaso. Yeah. So you're talking about your showreel. Yes. I hope I hope everyone is still here because I'm not sure if this is doing a commercial or not. So I think the best way, would be this way. I know you all been. I really apologize that this has been a bit of a chaotic stream. I didn't do as much comp as I thought I was gonna do. I really thought that we were gonna do a lot of compositing today, and we didn't. Like, we ended up talking, going through all the questions, and there's also like there's even questions on Twitch mods. Okay, sorry, I didn't even saw that. I didn't even have the time to go through. I would recommend you to put the questions somewhere else because I haven't even had the time to check the Twitch mods as well. But as I said, I do apologize that it's been a bit of a chaotic stream. Usually it's much more organized than this, I can guarantee you. For all of you that are usually coming to my stream last year, you know that I'm a very organized streamer and everything is always very organized and by the book. So I do apologize that it's been a bit chaotic and we haven't done as much comp. But what I would like to tell everyone here is that I think because everyone has been waiting for showreels for so long, I don't think I will return to compositing anymore. I don't think I'll do the comp anymore. I think now I'm going to just do all the comps in a row. But before everyone else leaves and only the people for the showreels stay, I would like to announce one thing, which would be cool. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you that you're back. Oh, Andrew, you just missed this moment, Andrew. I don't know if you missed it, but I just did this on stream with my Doom helmet. It was epic. I actually answered the question using my Doom helmet, which was the first for me. And maybe next week I can answer a question of compositing using my Fallout helmet as well. But yeah, thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for supporting. So as I was saying, You've been playing? Yes, I have been playing. Doom is amazing. I've played like an hour so far yet. I haven't had the time, but you know, when you watch the show reels and you watch the problems of other people, then you can of course use that to get your show reel better. You know, watching other problems really helps your own show reel. So keep that in mind as well. So if you want to stick around to watch the show reel reviews, please feel free to stick around. It's only going to take like 45 minutes to do it or something. If you don't want to stick around and if you had enough, that's fine as well. Just say goodbye to me and I'll be on the stream again midweek. I will announce to everyone so that people know. And don't forget, you can rewatch this video because I have opened it to all followers of my channel, not just the subscribers. But before you go, please consider supporting my channel either by subscribing to my channel with Amazon Prime because it's free for you. But I can get some money from Amazon, and Amazon doesn't need the money, they can give it to me. And also maybe consider my course or consider my Patreon, okay? Because I really need the support, and now we're all gonna go and have a very, very tough time in the near future, so we all need to support each other. So let's go and do some showreel reviews. So as I said, if anyone wants to leave, feel free. I'm going to start from the beginning. Let's see here. So I'm going to go backward because the last reel we did was Pierre's reel. So now I'm going to ask if Kenzo is still here. So Kenzo Jocher, I think that's how you say it. I'm going to just put it on the screen. And if he's still here, if Kenzo is still here, we just put it on the screen. Sorry about that. I just need to like get it copied over here and then I can open it here. There you go. Now you can see it. So if Kenzo Jocher is still here, I can then do his review. I'm not sure if he's still here. Is he still here? So Kenzo, you basically have, so Kenzo has about 20 seconds to tell me if he's here. If Kenzo doesn't tell me in 20 seconds that he's here, then I'm going to move on to the next showreel, okay? So Kenzo, you have 10 seconds now to tell me if you're still here. 10 seconds, Kenzo. If you're not here, Kenzo, it's not okay. It's okay. It's not a problem. I can do your showreel later, so just maybe return to the stream and you can do it all again. Reposting my reel. Is that Kenzo? I don't think that's Kenzo. No, that's someone else. Is Kenzo here? Please say it. Kenzo once, Kenzo twice, and you're out, Kenzo. Oh, shit. You just, oh, is that Kenzo? Okay, cool. You just barely made it. You see? Barely made it. So I guess Kenzo is Scream 88. Is that you, Kenzo? Is that Scream 88? I was it was close, yes. So let's look at your showreel, Kenzo. And like I said, if anyone wants to leave, feel free to leave, but you can all stick around as well and maybe learn something. That would be nice as well. Thank you so much, Ed Mogul, for the resubscription Prime 2 months. Thank you so much for that. I would also like to thank Ilarin for the resubscription 6 months. Thank you so much for being a subscriber for 6 months. And that's it. That's the only two that I have here to subscribe. So let's watch this showreel. Like as I usually say, I'm not going to put the sound because I don't want to be flagged by YouTube or Twitch. So let's look at the showreel first, okay? Those of you joining now, don't forget I am here. We're just like looking at Kenzo's showreel, and then we're going to give him some feedback directly. You have some nice shots, Kenzo, but you also have some bad shots. So we're going to be here going through all of them. I hope you don't mind that I'm going to be quite harsh. I'm usually quite harsh on showreels, but that's the only way people can get better, you know. So that's kind of the only way, really. But you do have some really nice elements here as well. Okay, cool. So let's start from the beginning, and I'm gonna put it full screen again. First off, Kenzo, really nice on the beginning. You have really nice there. You know, you have like the text, your name, what you're doing, compositing, roto prep. Everyone knows what you're doing. You have your phone number as well. That's terrific. So, first shot. So, first shot looks really nice, but there is a couple of issues here, and I think they are very easily to fix, okay? The main issue I have with this shot is the depth of field, okay? So, there is no way a camera in any place in the world would have every layer sharp like you have here. You see here, we have complete focus on the skull, complete focus on the outside grid, complete focus on the flag, complete focus on every single building, and including the mountains and everything. Now, goes without saying, I'm not suggesting that you should do an extreme depth of field because that's going to make it very fake, okay? But you need to at least account for depth of field from a camera, okay? So, for example, if you look at the plate, because if we look at our breakdown, you can already have some tips of how your depth of field looks like by just looking at the plate. So, for example, if I... Where's your raw footage? Yeah, it's very, very short, but it shows up here. So that's your raw... God damn it, it's so quick. Okay. It's so quick. I hate Vimeo. And I don't want to... Okay, here we go. So if you look at this plate, you can clearly see that there is some depth of field. For example, you can kind of see that it's a little bit defocus on the rocks here on the front, and it's literally a little bit defocus on the green screen on the back there as well. So you already have a little bit of depth of field going on here, which means that you haven't done that, you know. So it's like... Oh, okay. Sajels is sending me the link. Thank you so much for that, man. That's very, very kind of you to do that. Oh my God, it has so much music. Jesus, I was scared. Like, it's so loud, the music, Kenzo. Jesus Christ. I wasn't expecting that, sorry. It was so loud. Let me just save that real quick here so that I can... get it. So I am going to do it like Sajal has said because it's so much easier to scroll through here. So I'm going to just go to my computer here, go to my downloads here, and just get it directly here. The music is so loud, man. Jesus, you frighten me now. I'm going to just lower the sound here. So I'm going to go in through this showreel again. Now I can actually scrub. So you see, for me, I think personally you should actually start already having a little bit of fall off of depth of field on this building here. Definitely this building, by the time you're here, it should already be a little bit defocus. That one should already be a lot more defocus. And then the mountain should have a little bit defocus. What I would suggest would be, since you've done... oh, you shot it with F8? Yeah, if you shot it with F8, although it's a very high f-stop, and I understand that because it is a very high f-stop, even on F8, you would get some depth of field. Because if you go outside with a really wide lens and you use an F8, I don't know what camera it was, but... it also depends on how much if you let me put it this way. If you really want to go granular on this, what I would advise you to do is I would go outside to a landscape. I know we can't go outside anymore because now we have all to be home, but what I would suggest to you is I would pick up a camera that has a similar size sensor, because obviously depending on the sensor size, you get more or less depth of field. So you should get a camera that has a similar size sensor. You should get a camera that has a similar lens of what was this shot with, and then try to shoot a landscape with an f8 camera, with an f8 f-stop. So if you shoot with the same lens, the same sensor with an f8, then you have the perfect reference of how depth of field works, okay? And so then you should use that as a reference. Now, what would work then would be you would then, because you're doing a 3D system in Nuke, what you could do is you could either use the depth of field, but the depth of field won't really work because you just have cards, so it won't really give depth between the cards. So what you will have to do, what I would advise you to do, is to fake the depth of field. So for example, this card here, I would actually make a ramp to fake my depth of field. And then the ones on the back, I would literally just use the defocus node and manually make them more and more defocus. You need to be very careful because it has to be very subtle, okay? Now, in terms of keying and roto and cleanup, it looks really nice. I think you did a great job. The skull looks really nice as well. It's really just the matte painting that requires some kind of depth of field, and then you're golden. This shot is fantastic. This shot here, it looks okay. Like, I think you did a good track. It looks solid to me. The wire removal looks solid to me, although it's hard for me to tell because I didn't saw this thing. I'm not watching it with full high quality. I'm watching it with a compressed thing. I thought I saw something here. Just double checking if I actually saw something or not. I don't think I saw something. I thought I seen something there, but I didn't. So your CG looks nice, and I think the lighting also looks nice. Although it kind of looks to me like you have too much glow, and the motion blur looking a bit weird. So you have, because if you look at the image, nothing on this image has glow. So you see, there's no glow on the wood. There's no glow on the monitor. There's no glow even near the window. Even the window doesn't have glow. But then you have glow on the robot. So you should match these things. These objects should match each other, you know. So you shouldn't really have glow there because otherwise it's going to look a bit strange. So I would recommend you to try to cut down on the glow because it's a bit strange. But everything else looks nice. I think it's a nice, well done shot. Now this shot here, I understand what you're trying to do, but I think you went a bit too far with the matte painting. So it's way too dark. Like, first of all, if this was this dark, you know, if this was this exterior, Shajels is saying exterior should be a bit blown out maybe if the room was that dark. Yes, it should as well. But although we need to understand that this is the footage, you know, the footage is the footage. We're not going to change it. So I wouldn't really blown out the outside, but I would definitely tweak this robot because it shouldn't really have the glow in it, you know. Now, this shot, you went a bit too far. I think it's a bit strange that the smoke has so much light, especially if the smoke is on a dark area. Where is this light coming from? It's a bit strange. And then the matte painting, there's all sorts of problems going on the matte painting on the back there. And it's a real shame. And also you have scaling issues as well. It's a real shame because you have a really nice shot here with a lot of tracking markers. You have the opportunity to do a really cool shot. And then you kind of went a bit too dark. And I'm assuming you're trying to hide certain things. But even from your perspective, have a think about this, okay? So think about the perspective of your scene, okay? Look at your CG, right? And look at your footage. So your footage, if you use a conical perspective, you basically see, if I would use lines to do conical perspective, I know that the line would go that way, and then the other line would go this way, because I can kind of see that that's how the conical perspective would work. Let me do this. The best way for me to show you this is by, that's not what I wanted to open, would be to preview this and just clipboard it. So if I show you this, I think you'll understand what I mean. So see, from here, from a conical point of view, if I put like a line, that's not the line drawn. Sorry, I don't have the line drawn here. There you go. Now that's, there it is. Yeah, that's the line. Okay, cool. I'm going to put it on white because it's going to be easier if you see it on white. Yes. So you see, if I put a line of conical perspective, I kind of go like this. And if I go to a line of conical perspective, I go like that. And if I go a line of conical perspective, I go like this. And you see, that's kind of like the vanishing point of my scene is kind of like this, you see. That's like the vanishing point of my scene. It goes to that sign. So that means in terms of perspective, you have the floor here. Now, if I go to your comp, you have not done it correctly because your matte painting, especially if you look here, your matte painting shouldn't be from this perspective. So your matte painting is actually being photographed from a top perspective. It's almost like someone is on the top of a mountain photographing down to the matte painting. And that's wrong compared to the perspective of your footage. So that's the first problem you have, a perspective issue between the matte painting and between the footage you have. So that's the first problem we have. Then the CG looks fine, but for some reason you are hiding it so much with shit. I'm sorry to say this. You're hiding it with so much shit on the screen that we can't even see it. You've put way too much smoke. You put way too much sparks. And you've made it so dark that we can hardly see it. No one would ever make it so dark. You need to kind of lift it a bit because we're losing all the nice detail of Nuke. We're losing all the nice detail. I think your color correction just went a bit too far, you know. You just need to lift everything up so you have a bit more gamma in the scene. Otherwise, this just looks a bit fake. It looks like it was underexposed when it was shot, you know. That was what I would say to this shot. And the same goes for this shot here as well. Again, you have the same problem. Now it's even worse because now we're actually looking down on him. So basically the camera is low and it's looking up to him, and your matte painting is still the same perspective. So it's almost like it's a problem, you know. It's a problem because you're looking up to the sky, and the matte painting should be lower, because if you're looking up to the sky, your matte painting should be actually a lot lower. So for example, if I go to here, I need to get a tool that actually does this kind of thing. But you see, the problem here is this needs to go down. This needs to go down, you see. You need to kind of like make this down. This matte painting cannot be here. This matte painting should be maybe here, you know, the top of it, because we're looking on an angle up. So that means all of this should be sky, not trees, not the mountains. The mountains should be kind of here, down here, you see. And then the trees should be kind of here from a perspective point of view. You know what I mean? I hope I'm not this. I hope you don't feel like I'm destroying your shot. I'm just trying to help as much as I can. But I hope it's you're okay with all this feedback. Let's see here. What you already talking, so I hadn't really. Yep, I would like to hide the fake perspective with the digital matte painting, but maybe it's not working for the 3D for the shot. No, it's not. No, definitely not working. So you need to kind of look into that. And this is simple to solve, you know. So the easiest way to solve is to basically light up the CG, because I think the CG is too dark, and then just get another matte painting. I think it would be awesome if you could get something else, you know, because it's a nice shot, man. It's a nice shot. So now this shot here, compositing and digital matte painting. So we have rain on the shot, and then I'm assuming, yeah, you just basically broken it up a little. Kenzo, it would be awesome to see a breakdown on this shot, because this shot does look really cool. And without a breakdown, it's a shame that you don't see a breakdown, you know. It would be nice for it to see it. So I hope this helped you. I really hope this helped. And, you know, feel free to update your showreel and then get back to me. You know, like, I'm happy to give you even more feedback once you have the showreel a bit more ready, you know. So I hope that helped, Kenzo. So let's go back here and actually, let's see here. Go back to the next one. Where am I? So there's so many still to go. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Diogo Sampaio. So Diogo Sampaio, is Diogo Sampaio still here? Is he still here? Let's see if Diogo. I don't think I've reviewed your showreel yet, Tommaso. I don't think so. No, I didn't. No. I'm working on it. Is Diogo here? Diogo Sampaio. If Diogo Sampaio isn't here, I can do the showreel later. You are more than welcome, Screamite. More than welcome. I'm very happy to help you. Is Diogo Sampaio here? Diogo Sampaio has about 10 seconds to tell me if he's here. If he's not here, I'll move on to the next one, which is Igor Rolim. So is Diogo Sampaio here? No, I guess he's left. Yeah, he's left. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one, so Diogo, don't worry. Maybe next time, next stream, come back and yeah, that's fine. So let's move on to the next one. So next one reel is Igor Rolim. So I'm gonna just put the Vimeo link up here. Is Igor Rolim still here? So this would be Igor Rolim, that one. So is he still here? Yes. Okay, cool. So Igor, I'll do yours now. So let's just do this one here. Let's do Igor's. I'll download it in a second for the first time. So Igor, I'm seeing some Star Wars footage here. Have you worked on Star Wars? Is that the case? Fante96 says, "Hey Hugo, got to go now. It's been great to looking forward to the next stream to get some lockdown fatigue away." That's great, man. That's great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, and spread the word. Yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna be back on Twitch for a while. I would say one thing, guys and girls. I am going to stream some gaming as well, so there will be a couple of days that I will just be playing games. Okay, I hope you don't mind, but sometimes you just want to play games. You don't want to like talk about compositing. You just want to talk about games. So there will be a couple of streams where I'll just be like randomly playing some video games as well. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah. So Igor, that's fine. I was just like curious if you had worked on Star Wars. You know, I never know. Like I sometimes people here work on Star Wars, so I was just wondering. So let's look at your showreel first. I forgot to put it on. Sorry, I forgot to put it on the screen. So the reason I was asking this to Igor is because his shot is from Star Wars, so which is this shot here. I'm gonna have to download your showreel as well, so I can scrub through frame by frame. It's looking good, looking good. Very good work here. Very good work. I'm not gonna have much to say. I'm gonna be very picky, but that's usually what I do. I'm always very picky, but it's definitely very good. I just need to like go frame by frame and just kind of go through certain things. That one, Sergels. Thanks, Sergels, for helping me out there. Thank you so much. Let's see here. I feel so alone when I'm just watching these things and I can't hear you. I wonder if maybe someday we should do a Zoom call instead of a Twitch stream, because a Zoom call means that we can all talk and we can all hear each other. It would be so much nicer if we could do some kind of party instead of like just me talking. I feel like I'm so alone here. It's just like it's a bit silly. So Igor, this was a really nice showreel. So are you working right now? This was a very nice showreel. Congratulations, very good roto as well. I'm just gonna Sajals, are you downloading that showreel? Because I need to go frame by frame to show a couple of things to Igor. And then we're gonna do that. Oh my god, we've been doing this for 3 hours and a half. This is insane. This is insanity. I don't think I've done it. Okay. Okay, so he's already sent it me. You're freelancing. Okay, you're freelancing where? Where are you freelancing? Oh my god, the sounds are so heavy. The sounds are so high that I got scared again. So I'm going to just... you're freelancing... where are you freelancing at the moment? Yeah, but, you know, I know everyone will talk on top of each other, but it would also be nice, you know, to maybe start talking a little bit. So... remove the sound here, it's so loud. So Igor Rolim, very nice here on the beginning. You say what you have your phone number, your email, everything is pretty much there, so that's good. So let's go back. So this is a very good piece of roto, my friend, very good. As you can see, you've correctly done every single wire one by one, including motion blur. Very nice. And this is something people here need to look into, because that's exactly how you should do hair. One by one. If anything, the only thing I would say is that you've been a bit harsh on your edges. So, for example, if you look at the original here, you see there's a substantial amount of blurriness happening on the edges, which you haven't done. You see, this is a bit too harsh, this line in the ear line as well. I would definitely try to bring in some edge blurring to some of the shapes and a bit of feathering to some of the shapes. But I do understand that if you are working in a company, if you are working, I'm sorry about the sound volume. I'm so sorry because the sound was on. If you're working on a company, obviously the rotoscoping would be done probably sharp. And then someone else, you know, like the artist, the compositor, the mid-level compositor would then pick up this roto, and then he would himself put some blur, put some edge blurs, do those kind of things. But in this situation, because you're showcasing a showreel, I definitely think you should add a bit of blur on certain situations, because it is a bit harsh. That's the only criticism I have for this, because it's looking terrific. Like, you did a great job, and also you showcased the showreel in 4 different ways, which I thought it was really good. So I think this is really, really nice. Now, this one here, I couldn't see any problems, but that's why I want to do frame by frame, because kind of want to go through here. I can kind of see that your edges here on the hair are a bit loose. So I am missing some of the hair here that you've kind of missed. Let me just go back here. I need to zoom in a bit and then go back a bit. You see, there's a bit of hair there that you've kind of like, there's little pieces of hair there. There's also like little locks of hair, this little hair, that little hair, this little hair. All these little pieces of hair are all gone. So you've just cut them all completely. And you kind of have to bring that back. So the same way you did the Star Wars hair, you need to bring back those little individual pieces of hair need to come back because you're missing them on your shot. There's also a bit of a wobbliness going on here. So if you look closely here, sorry, I went a bit too far there. So if I go and play back this, wait, there, you see here. So you don't have a black edge there at all, nothing there, and then suddenly one frame it's a black edge, and then after a while it disappears again. So you have these wobbliness moments on your roto. You kind of want to make sure you go through like really frame by frame and really check everything. You've also stolen the ear quite a lot as well. So you've stolen too much of the ear, especially during your motion blur. Let me just go a bit further here. Yeah, you see, I doubt that this is the actual real edge. You need to compare this against the edge because I would doubt that you would have these bumps. You wouldn't have this bump. You wouldn't have that bump. You wouldn't have such a close cut there. Also, I'm kind of like not seeing the ear. The ear is a bit cut on the back there. Suddenly it just shows up. So there's a little bit of finessing that has to happen on this shot, okay? And then you do have some dark edges as well, especially on this thing here. So see, that's too black. That's too edge. You might want to consider maybe edge extending, things like that. But anyway, it is a good effort. But it requires more work. You need to like give it more work. It's a lot worse than the Star Wars. The Star Wars one is a much better achievement. Now these ones here also looked like it had the same problem as Star Wars. Again, I know that some artists like mid-level and seniors will want the edges to be sharp, but I think you went too far. These are too sharp. So you need to kind of go back and just soften some of them. And it's a bit too geometrical. This line is too geometrical. I think you are going too sharp with your edges. For it to match this girl, it needs to be a bit softer. So you need to kind of bring in a little bit of edge blurring, a little bit of blurring on certain edges. And you could do this by using an edge blur and a soft matte to try to blur certain parts, okay? That would be my advice to you to try to do that. But very nice work, and I think the issues you have here on these ones are all the same. They're all the same issues throughout all the shots. All of these shots have the same issues. Including this one has a lot of wobbliness. If you zoom in here, it's a bit compressed. It's hard for me to tell on Vimeo. No, it's not wobbliness. It's just compression. Wow. There's a lot of compression there. It's very hard to tell because of the compression. No, never mind. It actually looks pretty good. I don't really see any problems on this one. A pretty solid roto here. Very nice roto. Very well done. It would be nice if you could show us the breakdown of the roto, by the way, because as a VFX supervisor, I would love to know how much did you break up of the legs, how much did you break up of the arms? How much did you break up the whole thing? You know, it would be good for you to do that because I'm hoping that you've done something like this. You know, for example, if I go to, I'm just going to show you really quickly a little clip from my classes. If I go to the roto shape breakup, this is from my online course. So you see, this is how you should break up a shape. Just going to zoom out a little bit here. You see, this is how you should roto and cut the shapes that you're doing roto. And it would be very nice if we could see that. It would be very nice if we knew. I think we lost the connection for a split second there. I think it's back though. It would be very nice if we could see that. It would be nice if we could see how you actually constructed your roto and how you constructed your edges, you know. It's very important for me as a soup or as a visual effects supervisor how that works. You could, Igor, you could record the screen. So I usually use capture. So you could just play this back and just capture just that section. That works. Record screen would work. You just need to make sure you can cache the image, you know, and then that should work as well. Let me just go back to your showreel. Sorry. I have too many windows. Let me just have too many windows open right now. So where are you? Your showreel is there. Yes. So I think that's the last one, isn't it? No, you're right. I forgot about this one. Yeah, again, very good work for the hair, but again, a bit too sharp, a bit no blurring whatsoever. You need to be careful because it cannot be so geometrical. You need to try to get a bit less edges. So, for example, I can even show you one thing. Let's look at here. So if you look at the edge of this is a jumper, right? And as you can see, every piece of this jumper has wool, right? So you can kind of see there's a bit of a wool there. There's a little bit of a jump. There's a bit of a corner there. There's all of this. And now when I look at your roto, you've completely ignored that and just put a cut there. So you see, does this look to you like an edge from a wool sweater? So a wool sweater would never have an actual sharp edge like this. It would always be soft. It would always be round. It would always have blur. So you need to be careful with that because you are kind of like losing the thing there, you know? And I think that's the last shot. So congratulations, Igor. It's a very good showreel, but it still has quite a lot of work to do, you know? Like you just need to like make it better, you know? And hey, look at my, you just have to get inspiration from my cup here. You see? That's the phrase that I used to say when I was working at the mill as a supervisor. You just have to be better. That's it. I only noticed now that you can actually see the red lights inside the Mac Pro. I only noticed now. You know what these red lights are? These are actually, it's the little R for the Radeon 7 card. So the Radeon 7 has like a little LED, and you can see it through the chassis. That's pretty nice. I didn't saw that until I saw that on the screen now. Okay, anyway. So let's, I am getting pretty exhausted, guys and girls. So I'm not entirely sure I'm going to go and do much more showreels, but I'm going to maybe do one more. But I'm so tired. That was the first 2 months of Roto. Okay. I am really sorry that I destroyed your showreel. I really hope you you don't get mad at that. Yeah, so a little demon inside. I am pretty tired. I don't know if I'm gonna do much more, you know? Like, how many do we still have? We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, oh my god, 5, 6, 7. We still have 7, 8 showreels to go. Oh my god, this is so much. I don't think I can do 8 showreels, guys. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm getting really tired. We've been doing this for 3 hours and a half. I wasn't really expecting so much showreels, okay? It's so much. So I think maybe maybe we should yeah. I am sorry about that, but I think I might just skip the rest and do it next time because this is just way too much. I still had the showreel from Pedro Gartner to do. I had the showreel from Alma Prieto to do. I also had the showreel from Mito to do. Also had the showreel from Tommaso as well. And then I had the showreel from Daniel Anderson, the showreel from Emiliano Schuner, and the showreel from Baptiste Kremer. So it's still quite a lot. The Ray was the last one I made. That was the best. Okay. Yeah, so Igor, it's definitely you can definitely see that you are getting better. I also have the showreel from Sauram. So it's that you definitely can kind of see that you're getting better and better because the Star Wars Roto, Ray's Roto, is definitely the best one, you know? So I think you're getting better and better. So you just need to like now apply the knowledge you have now and go back and do it better. You know, that's the only thing you need to do. But yeah, I am sorry about this, guys and girls, but I think I'm going to go. It's been 3 hours and a half. So it's been a long, long time. I have still 6 showreels to go. So the next stream will probably be half week. So I need to like go and have dinner now. So I'm not going to do any gaming right now. I'm gonna go for dinner right now. But thank you so much for being here. And I'll probably do the stream midweek. I would assume I probably would do the stream on Wednesday or Thursday. I will let everyone know when the stream is going to go on. No, sorry, Sajels, I'm not going to play any game now because I am so tired now. So I think I need to go and have dinner. I need to chill a bit, and then I need some work. I have some work to do. So I'll promise to you that I'll play some games next time. You know, I promise to you. I'll most likely do a game stream only of games, nothing else. So please, for everyone here, please be safe. Please don't go outside. Try to work from home. If you don't have work right now, don't worry. There will be work coming because as we all shift to working from home, everyone is going to have to do some work. So don't worry about that. It's going to happen. And if you need anything, just let me know. If you need any support, let me know. I'm here for everyone. I'm here for this community. You've been so kind to me, and you've been so supportive of me as well. And if you need anything, I'll be here. So I'll try to do at least more than once a week, maybe twice a week. I'll try my best because I am, of course, very busy with my work as well. But thank you so much for being here. This was a great stream. I don't promise that it will be this long next time, but I promise this. I'll promise that I will play Doom with the Doom helmet. So I will do that. I will promise. And I would like to, of course, before we go, I would like everyone to give a round of applause to Linny. Linny was my moderator today, and she was amazing. She really helped me moderate all the questions. So thank you so much, Linny. Thank you so much. And I would also like to thank Sajels from CG Rockstar that helped me a lot as well to download all the files in the showreels. So I would like to give a round of applause to both of them, to both Linny and to CG Rockstar for helping me. Thank you so much for that. That was really, really cool of you and very kind of you. So thank you so much for that. And we are going to leave. I'll leave you with this. I don't have any funny video today to show you, so I'll just leave you like this. Thank you so much for being here. It was amazing to return. It was amazing to come back. So I'll be back soon. Don't worry. I'll announce everywhere. And goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. 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 I'm gonna just